And I'd played the tambourine.
So we're just going to play this as it is, just so people. We might even include this on the video, but YouTube has blocked us. So we're technically live right now.
Okay.
Live to audio, live there. So we're going to hit this start streaming, and we're going to see if it actually let us do it. So here we go. Are you sure? We do want to start streaming. Let's find out. No. Hold on.
We violated laws.
It does that. That's what happens instead. It says we were signed out. I don't know. I don't think we should fuck with it. I think we just go with it.
Can you just record the video?
I think so. We did nothing wrong. For all of our listeners out there, we did absolutely nothing wrong, you two.
Nothing wrong. And we got flagged.
A damn robot thought that we uploaded the same thing, which we did, but audio only. Totally allowed. Totally allowed, right?
We copyrighted ourselves.
But we just didn't say audio only on it. I think that's why. But they block. I show up here, and we're blocked.
We'll
so
get
anyways,
it fixed.
this is Gorilla still. So we're doing it. Oh, we're live.
Are we recording video?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, cool.
We're solid.
Right on. Well, yeah, if we're rolling, then first things first, as always, thank you, Westwood Avenue, for letting us set up shop and do this week to week and giving us the facilities and the whereabouts to produce our podcast.
Avenue.
If you're looking for any marketing needs or any...
I got marketing needs. I got this podcast I'm trying to tell people about.
I think you may have misunderstood how that arrangement works.
Right? Probably.
But check out westwoodavenue.com and cheers to them.
Cheers,
and
Westwood.
Without any further ado.
Do, baby.
More.
That's us. Yeah. And Steven. That's right, September 21st. Go Jones.
Yes, sir.
That's right. So that's the theme music. Everyone knows that by now.
That was fantastic. I'm serious, man.
Hey, thank you.
I'm the biggest funk fan you're going to find.
That was a lot of fun.
What do you think of the Wolfpack?
The Wolfpack.
You into them yet? You into them? Theo Katzman and the Wolfpack guys?
I don't know them. I've been on this electronic monologue kind of, synthesizer trip for a little bit. So
nice.
Been digging into some 90s R&B, hip-hop stuff.
Throw a few names out there. What's been in the playlist?
Oh, man.
Anything, is it obscure stuff, or is it your 90s playlist? I mean, I don't know, 90s, like Prodigy?
Like
you said, Edie, it's in electronics, like Crystal Method.
So, think about...
Moby.
But you ever heard of Lakeside, by chance?
Lakeside? Nope.
If you hear...
I bet if I heard it, right? Is it one of those...
Most of the songs are, I guess it's what all the hip hop artists in the 90s sampled.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Right?
All the G-Funk stuff, like Lakeside, Cameo.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm in a place I can't get out of, man. I'm just kind of hooked on it.
Well, thanks for coming and doing this. We had to reschedule last time. There was some nasty weather blowing through Nashville, so we called it a night and said on another. And so thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
For those listening, this is Stephen Jones, and I was thinking about I've spelled your name with a V so many times, and
it happens, man.
And I just realized when we were posting things, I was like, oh my God, I'm an ass.
Oh, did you put some stuff on some of the posts?
I don't think I did, but I think I even had your name, but I mean, I don't know if I'd sent you anything or hey, Steven or whatnot, and you've just been like, there's another person that doesn't know how to spell my name.
Hey, Mark. I try to be very mindful of that stuff.
Do you ever? I bet you don't get many people. I get Mark, Mike, Mac. Do you ever get anybody
short one-syllable names?
Yeah.
I always get Scott.
People have called me Andy.
All right,
Andy.
Oh,
when I was working, when I was working at this coffee shop at the Vanderbilt Hospital in my 20s, in my rock and roll days.
Yeah.
there was this one dude. He was like a foreign doctor. He sounded like he was maybe from Poland or something, but he was like way on up there. Like he was one of the top dog, and he came to my car every day, and it was super nice. We had a good rapport, but he called me Andy, and I worked there for like 7 years, and he called me Andy the whole time. And there were so many times where he would say, "Thanks, Andy. Hey, Andy," and the people in line that knew that my name was Adam would just be like,
what is going on?
Does he
here?
like and it was that moment of like they go, okay, are we wrong? Have we been calling him the wrong name the whole time, or is his name really
so you
Andy?
don't even say anything.
Yeah, no, and I mean there was a few times where I'd be like, no, I can't correct him.
You just gotta
let it
go.
I just rolled with it.
Let it go.
To him, I was Andy.
It's no big deal. It's not hurting anybody.
I've been working.
No, my name is Adam, but I go Andy for short.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I get called. I've been called Andy. That's about it, or asshole.
Yeah,
been called worse than that.
But I want to introduce our guest.
Go for it.
Stephen is a great. Graphic designer, artist. Creative director. What do you call yourself? Illustrator?
Man, no. I do illustrate.
He's an idea guy. No, okay, so we got you live up on the screen right now. Man. This is what everybody's seeing out there.
That's cool.
And if you're just listening to the audio, it's gogojones.com, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
gogojones.com. And if you want to see some just branding, sexy branding, and like you almost have like you got man branding going on. Like you got some like
some manly products.
You got some doodly products.
Yeah,
there's
hot sauces, cigars, beer,
there's
like
some steak metrics performance.
Like it is some good.
It's like meat and potatoes.
Well, my thing is, it's like someone has an idea,
but you made them sexy. They look
someone
good.
has a product, or someone has an idea, and you have the way of conveying it to their audience, or like you don't even because do you deal with finding their audience, or you just you design this and give them something that they can send out to their email list?
There's every client's different.
Okay, or put on their beer can rather.
Yeah, that too.
So because you had nothing. Okay, so what was your capacity with Mill Creek Brewing? Let's go, back really quick. Do you have any of the? Let me see if you on the.
Yeah, it's in there.
About thing. You got the Mill Creek. Any highlights or any of the?
Yeah.
Here's work. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it.
So just
boom, right there.
Boom,
right
pull on right at. Got it. So okay. You tell us what was your capacity here?
By the way, we're drinking delicious Mill Creek Brewing Company.
Big shout
located
out to those guys.
Yeah,
the Silo.
And it's
Silo.
This is my other favorite Nashville.
Their IPA is good.
Yeah. Well, the Silo.
It was the beer I had after my Tough Mudder last weekend.
Oh, nice.
I had I had the Mill Creek IPA. Yeah. It was fantastic.
I like, and then Little Harp with Chicken Scratch, like that one, and then this Silo are like two of my they're kind of right in the same.
It's easy drinking, man.
Yeah.
You could sit around a campfire or go on a paddle.
Yeah.
I can drink more than one of them.
Yeah. So again, Stephen, you designed the wrap for this. Yeah, is that correct?
There was a lot more to it than that.
Go for it.
When we started on the project, they brought me in. I got a referral from a friend. That's how a lot of the jobs come in. So I'm very thankful for those opportunities. But one of my buddies connected us because he didn't have the capacity to take on the breadth of the project. So I got in contact with him, with the Mill Creek folks, and I think Chris Going was he's the founder of the company, and he always had a really he understood the importance of a good brand and good visuals, and clearly thinking through
out the gate.
Yeah, out the gate.
Like you can't.
You can't. I mean. Mm-hmm. There are times when you work with clients that you hope by the end of the process they understand how important it is. Mm-hmm. But it's not very often you get somebody that realizes right off the bat, like especially early on, they're writing business plans and they're thinking through this stuff, and not everybody has that mentality to put design at the forefront of their company. So I feel really lucky to be able to have that opportunity to work with them. They've been great, but we started off with strategy stuff. That's a big part of what I do. I think it separates me from, a lot of other folks in town. I think you just got to listen to people. You got to ask them the right questions. Sure. You got to have a beer. You got to
two,
or two or three.
You're trying to figure out what they're trying to see, what they want onto their product.
Yeah,
you're trying to help.
Kind of play translator.
You're trying to read their mind, because even though they can tell you what they want, there's absolutely no way to really know exactly what they want.
No,
unless they can do it themselves.
And those are the worst people. Yeah. If they can kind of do it,
like idea of what he wanted the beer cans to look like. Like, he had the beer, but he's like, I don't know. So I know how to make the beer, but I don't know.
There were certain things.
I don't have any ideas of what I want.
So there were certain things on the strategy front where I'm asking these questions like, who do you expect? Who do you think is going to drink this beer? Who do you expect to be your
hipsters.
Target market? He's like old hippies, old hippies, and people who want to try something new but don't want to try something crazy.
But I want to try both.
Yeah, right? I mean, but his beers are that. I mean, that's funny to say, because I've had them all, and none of them are just like, they're swinging too hard for that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's all good.
And here's the thing too about Nashville beers that I'm liking more than so we were out in San Diego a few weeks ago.
They are in Nolensville, Tennessee, by the way.
Ooh,
so
I like
they have that in
so they do try to. So is that what it says on there? Is it somewhere on there?
I'm pretty sure.
Beautiful country out there in Nolensville. I like Nolensville.
Yeah,
there it is. Nolensville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee. Good for them.
Yeah,
man.
It's definitely not Nashville.
Well, okay, Tennessee.
Tennessee
Let's
beers.
say Tennessee, Middle Tennessee beers rather, are doing pretty damn good in my opinion compared to a lot. There's a lot of the craft stuff that I tasted out west. There was a lot of stuff that's really popular, and it's popular for a reason because it's delicious. Mm-hmm. And then there were a few of the craft, the really boutique-y craft ones that were good. Like Belching Beaver was fantastic. Little Miss was really good. There were some that were they were doing all the hazy IPAs and the hazy beers and
all the cloudy stuff.
Yeah, they had 20 different kind of beers and everything. And I mean, I know this is distribution, but I'd love to. You don't hear too many Mill Creek. So they have the 3. I guess is it 3 or 4 canned? 4 canned.
There's 4 canned. I mean, they have.
They did some seasonals, right?
Yeah, they do some seasonals too. You can definitely pick them up at the tap room. They've got a growler set up, so they got growlers.
A tap room all set up.
Yep.
But when I saw the through social media and stuff, we've been able to follow each other.
Yeah.
We the connection here is me and Steven met at a previous job where we both worked, and we kept up through social media. And I saw you posted this, and the thing that popped out to my eye the most, I was like, that just looks like a can of beer that's been around for a long time. You know what I mean? As opposed to that looks like that's been sitting next to Coors or Budweiser. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It has more of a timeless.
It looks like it's already something you're safe and comfortable drinking.
Yeah, it's not like
it's not like the Ananda. What is it, Ananda by Wiseacre or something like that?
Those are some
the good beers.
Those are really good.
But they're great. But this is different.
I mean, and
it's a different approach.
Yeah,
man.
And I will say that there's a lot of stupid labels in craft beers. They get busy looking, and this when you look at this, when you see it on a shelf, it really pops off the shelf because it is so different than everything else.
Yeah, definitely. It's something you think about too. I mean,
you did a great job with this, and they did a great job making beers. But
it's a good combination, I think.
Yeah, I know you're a soccer fan. This is soccer, this is Jersey inspired, right?
Everybody says that to me.
And that's not true.
I wasn't thinking about it when I was doing it. But
really, that wasn't a conscious thought. Man, I'm gonna make beer cans that are gonna look like fucking awesome soccer jerseys. Because that could totally be a soccer jersey.
My buddy,
their core releases.
Football jersey.
My buddy Lopez, he always said that too after he saw it. He said that every time. He said,
I really can't believe that wasn't a conscious decision.
That is ingrained in my brain.
Sure.
Probably at this point that it's going to be tough to shake.
Sure.
So they got distribution regional, a couple states. Oh yeah, man,
dude, they just expanded
go check that out.
Tennessee, I think Mississippi.
Upcoming events, they do events there too. Cool. Yoga on tap, of course. Of course it is.
Yeah, they're great, man.
That's really fun.
Really
bike
good,
night.
Really good folks.
Oh, bike night.
You ride bikes.
You ride bikes.
You ride bikes.
No, not yet. We'll get to that.
I was about to say you probably do more than I do. Looking at your size.
Well, here's the thing. I'm in endurance mode right now. So I'm like, I just did Tough Mudder. I'm going to do marathon in April, and then I think I'm going to try to do the really long. I'm going to do another Tough Mudder, but the tougher one, and then do a longer one. I'm an endurance drinker. I read. There you go. I enjoy that too. It's change. I read that Rich Roll book, and now I'm hooked. And now I just want to But the biking thing. So here's my thing.
I love it.
I'm doing the run. I'm getting the run game down this winter. I'm gonna find a way to get better at swimming. So when summer hits, I suck
at swimming.
I'm
like the worst swimmer that the Navy ever had.
Oh no, shit.
I failed my swim qual the first time.
Hope Jones doesn't fall off the boat over there. That boy swims like a lead brick.
That's hilarious.
I can't lie, man. I suck at swimming. I'm
Good for you.
I'm shit at swimming. I will admit it, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, so I'm gonna get this swimming, and then the thing is then hopefully by next, late summer or fall, I can get into the cycling thing. I want to, if I can get running down.
You lining up an Ironman?
Yeah.
You're an asshole, just like my brother.
Oh, man.
Right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
No,
I get it.
I admire it.
That's why I'm doing it, because there are people that I admire that have done it that, in my eyes, I'm like, you know what? And it wasn't people that did it right out of college. There's a guy I know that started, in his late 30s. There's a guy...
My brother's 42, and he's training for one right now.
For an Ironman?
Yeah.
Man,
I went for a 2-mile walk this afternoon, and I was pretty good after that. I was like...
but that's great if that's all you want to do.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm all I know is that
knocking the dust off. I'm trying to get my groove back.
I'm for sure not one of those people, and I'm happy for it that I'm not one. Except for you, I told you that we got to do the tough. We're doing the Tough Mudder because I know you, but I'm not going out there trying to get everybody else to run with me. I'm doing it because I've seen other people do it, and I'm like, you know what? Those people in my eyes have some shit together. And I want to have some of that together shit.
So, awesome thing my family and I just did. We've all kind of evolved into cyclists in some form or fashion. My dad used to ride a lot when we were kids.
You're talking road.
Yeah. My dad would ride. He would do long rides, 30, 60 occasionally. So he was always stroking, right? I wasn't thinking anything about it. I rode all over the city all the time. When I was 12 and stuff.
No shit.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
Riding bikes?
Well, not just riding bikes, but riding bikes, on street bikes,
San Francisco, man.
Wearing the shorts.
I learned in San Francisco.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, so how old were you when you 12? How old were you when you were hitting the road stuff?
I didn't start riding in the city seriously like that until I was, I guess I just graduated college.
So you're looking 21, 22, 23?
2011, 2012, roughly.
Nice.
I went out to California, did an internship in San Francisco, and I sold everything I had, sold it all, packed up, went out there for an internship. It was awesome. But I sold my car. You can't have a car there. I'm not getting paid shit.
I did the opposite. I came from LA, sold everything, and came here.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's probably a better deal.
Well, yeah. San Francisco. No, I don't know that.
It's great to live there.
I had a great time. Same thing with LA. It's cool to hang, and then I'm glad to come back and live here. But anyways,
that was cool.
So you've been doing 6, 7 years now?
I love the city rides, man. I do a lot of road riding too, but I've got one buddy that he's taught me along the way.
Nice.
Whenever I'd
now, what do you mean city?
Just hauling ass through the city, riding down to Munbury, riding
one of those assholes hugging the road that you got to stay 3 feet away from. Yeah, damn it.
Okay.
Janie
it's a video game, more like a video game as opposed to going and riding the Natchez Trace.
I'm not being an asshole.
You don't have X.
I know what
I'm
you mean,
joking too. The same way I'm not being an asshole doing an Ironman. But it's at least the thing is you don't get extra lives in this video game.
Yeah, you get one.
So have you had I want to because the thing is I'm in that same boat. Like that's something that I want to experience. I think I do. I know that like a lot of people take like spill. Have you had some notable spills?
I got one spot here that was super small.
Gotcha.
And I've had one other small wreck. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Always wearing a helmet. Always do. I ride with other people most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm safe, but
I say that knowing that same thing with running, same thing with swimming. You have to go in knowing that you're potentially something, even if it's beyond your control, may happen. Same way driving a car.
Are you allowed to like run lights and break laws?
Dude,
no,
I don't do that shit, man.
You're not allowed.
I'll be the guy that's sitting behind the other car eating exhaust for a while because I just act like a car.
Yep.
Okay.
You're supposed to, and I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
So you just, I gotcha. Okay, so I thought you were like doing like, because those bikes, once you get momentum going, it's, but you're just, I got it.
Have you ever gone up like Natchez Trace or anything, or done any of those kind of rides?
I got buddies that have asked me to do that, and I haven't been in good enough shape. I don't think.
How long? Do you know how long that is?
I mean, the ones
Natchez
they were
Trace?
the Natchez Trace one. The ones they were talking about going
camping, doing an overnight thing,
Sweet.
doing like 60 miles a day, that kind of thing.
There are these guys that I go camping with. So this father son that are two of the guys that are like inspiring me to two of the inspirations to do this kind of thing. They do these bike rides on this camping trip, and it's the most beautiful country I would go. It's Sierra Nevadas. It's not far. It's the Sonora Pass, like right by Yosemite, like a little bit north of Yosemite, so not far in, like kind of close by Reno. And it's beautiful up there, but they do these like 80,
those are serious,
90-mile rides. But one of them, Dylan Hollinger, he's a pro cyclist. He works for Specialized. He's a pro cyclist. His dad was the one that was like in his late 30s, I think, when he started. And
what a crazy title to have, pro cyclist.
Yeah,
what do you
no
do for a
kidding.
living? I ride my bicycle.
But he's a pro cyclist.
Talking about a guy that won in life.
Funny when you think of it.
What do you do for a living? I just ride my bicycle.
Ride my bike. I got the best life of all time.
How silly is it? Do you kind of not silly, but hey man, what do you do for a living? I take photographs. What do you do for a living? I play my guitar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
it's a good point. It's a good point.
That's the thing is literally even on my day hustle. What do you do for a living? I talk about guitars all the time.
But there's a difference. There is a difference.
Sure.
One is just getting from point A to point B, and the other is actually producing something that has, And I get it's races and promotion. I get it. It's just such a funny idea. It's like I'm a professional cyclist.
So the thing about my family and the cycling deal is my dad always cycled. I got into it, and then my older brother got into it later after I'd done it.
Sure.
He's very athletic, played sports in high school, everything.
He's your old
and he's got 5 kids. And it hit him, and he's
what
like,
a jerk.
I don't do anything for myself. So he wanted to challenge himself.
Good for him.
And he's been training and doing an awesome job. And we just all rode a big bike ride back in Owensboro, my hometown. So I got my dad to come out and ride with me. So he's only got one eye, so he's visually handicapped.
Oh, wow.
And he's been a little weary to get back out on the road and stuff. So he doesn't ride on the road. He'll ride on the greenways that they have in Owensboro. But I was trying to do a century, or a metric century, right? So I was trying to do 60.
Yep.
My brother was going to do 60, and my cousin was going to do 60.
You were going to do a what?
A metric century, which is like a 60-mile bike ride.
In the city?
But isn't it 100 kilometers? Isn't that close to 100 kilometers or something like that?
Don't ask me the math, man. The math is not mine.
Why is it a metric century? What is that from?
It's just what they call it. It's just the
Let's
distance.
It's just a term.
Yeah.
I'll find out here.
Yeah.
And how do you 60 miles in the city limits?
Yeah. So they map out the route and stuff.
Oh, it's like
actual, a ride.
Oh, okay. It's like I got you.
So we did this whole. I mean,
like a marathon.
Century ride. Here we go.
I got you.
Oh wait, no. Century ride is a bicycle ride of 100 miles or more within 12 hours.
So the metric century, what they call a metric century is 60.
Metric century. Okay. Gotcha. Metric century ride. How long
I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to do 60, and I'd trained a little bit, and the max I'd done was I think we did 46 miles one time.
Yeah, 62 miles.
My buddy and I. Woo! So I was
100 kilometers. There it is. Short answer. It's
I'm not feeling good about this.
Oh, of course it's 100 kilometers because it's a metric. There's that where it should have kicked in.
And so you didn't
it's like something was stopping me from thinking about it.
No, it worked out great because my brother ended up doing 100 instead of 60 with my cousin, who's a go-getter like you. Like he's just nuts, right?
I become the fucking go-getter.
No, you're the guy. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I hear you. I got you. I got my
dad to come out late and ride with me on
That's badass.
like the 30-mile one, which was way better because I got to spend time with my dad and I got to ride bike with him, which I'd never done before, which was super awesome.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the 60, I bowed out and did the 30, and we actually rode from the house to the actual ride. So we did about 41 miles.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That moment.
See, I would much rather train to do something like that than to run a marathon or anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a runner.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like if you're not a runner,
riding bikes is fun.
Oh yeah, it is.
Riding bikes is fun.
Running for me was the first thing, especially like in junior high, that like I was a fat kid and could jump away from that and actually try to get into like something that was a little bit like. First of all, I don't know. If I had asthma, my doctor said it would be good to run. So and the thing is, so that's when I started running, and I've had this different progression for it. And this was like the first time where there was like when I was training for this, there was something else that. And even though it's like, yeah, dude, there were people of all kinds of fitness levels doing this stuff. I mean, like all physique from top to bottom.
That's great, man.
It's dirty and muddy.
You said it. It's fucking great. Like it's just they're having a great time.
Everybody's rooting for everybody.
Yeah, and there's some people that were out there just doing them and running and socializing and doing their thing. And there were some people that were like hauling ass and like I got long story, but I was on my own basically. Was going to be with the big group. Was on my own, and just was like I had already started training here, so I'm like. I'm just gonna like try to haul ass. I'm just gonna do this.
Go for it hard.
Fucking do
this.
That's
awesome,
like,
man.
I'm gonna hit every obstacle. I'm gonna and I had an absolute blast. But the marathon thing with Nashville, and this is also the thing I was gonna tell. So like, I want to do Nashville first, but then the thing is I also after that point I want to say that I won't do the Nashville Marathon again.
You'll go somewhere else.
I'll go somewhere else, or I'll go. Do the bike ride. I might end up just getting hooked onto the bike ride and go to like Portland and do the naked bike ride.
I've been wanting to go to the Tetons and go up.
Yeah,
dude.
Do a Mount Hood. They do have this one thing called Hood to Coast, which is like a run. It's like a run down Mount Hood to the coast of Oregon. And but my uncle's done that. He said that's supposed to be absolutely. My cousin, I think either he was supposed to do it. He was the one. He was supposed to do the Tough Mudder with me. He broke his wrist like 2 weeks before Tough Mudder. Shoddy bowels.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
That's rough.
So, shoddy bowels. So, man, so tell me, when did you, to Navy, what were you doing? What was your capacity with the Navy? Shittiest swimmer. We knew that. You got that medal.
The shittiest swimmer. I mean, I went straight out of high school pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was right after September 11th. I was like, screw these terrorists, I'm going. I'm gone. Okay. I'm going to go. And I was all gung-ho, and then,
Why'd you choose the Navy? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
Their website was better than a lot of the other ones. And as a designer, I'm going to do that. And I was
it's the packaging, gotcha.
I was like,
that's
funny. I was more into partying and drinking and doing whatever the hell I wanted to at that point in my life because I just got out of high school, so I'm throwing down hard. And
sure.
I was like, well... I mean, my best friend's parents they spent time in the Navy.
You're like, I want to take it to the fucking terrorists, but I also want to have a goddamn good time doing it.
Drink some American Budweiser.
I want to sail the seas and spread some freedom.
I think my demeanor is probably a little more suited for the Navy.
Yeah, I would agree. I've spent my fair time around a lot of militaries, and all of them actually. I've been around all the branches except for the Navy, and I've never been around much Navy people. But you seem like you fit right nice.
Right in.
Yeah, I fit right in, man.
Did you have to get on the ship? Like, did you go out in a aircraft carrier out in the ocean for lots of time?
Oh yeah, we did 9 months out to sea with only 2 weeks. had 2 weeks on land in 9 months. So that was pretty. That was
okay. So let's talk about what kind of psychological games go on in your head, like.
That's
because when
I've
watched
your job on the ship, and what were your job or jobs?
Because when I've watched Top Gun, and I've seen or Red October, but that's a submarine, right? So, but you I'm just thinking they still shoot the hallways where they have to duck under. I mean, it's a cramped quarters. To me would just be something that I would be like, oh my god.
There's no other bigger ship from what I was on except the aircraft carrier. So we were directly that next size down. So amphibious assault ship had, this is kind of a rough number, but we had a bunch of Marines, so up to 1,000 probably, roughly, maybe a little under, and then we had 3,000 crew roughly. So we were in between 3,000 and 4,000, I think, when we were fully staffed afloat. So. Wow. It was pretty serious. I started off undesignated in the Navy. That pretty much says you go in and you don't have a job for sure. In terms of you don't get to pick, you don't get to say what it is. You can kind of pick a department. And they said, oh, you can pick air department. They say engineering department, or I can work doing seamanship things, like all the traditional sailing things. And my grandfather was in the Air Force, so I was like, air is the way I want to go. I don't know what job I want to do. I knew they had photography, and that was something I wanted to get into because I was interested in design and photography and stuff in high school. So it was like, all right, maybe I can work my way into this, but it's a super hard field to get into. So when I went in undesignated. So I worked on the flight deck doing if you see the blue shirts that are running around the flight deck on all the Navy commercials,
with the
so the blue shirts are doing all the grunt work, and then you got yellow and
swabbing the deck.
No, absolutely none of that shit.
None of that. Okay.
None of
swabbing, no deck.
But we you got the signal people, you got the people running and tying down, helicopters and stuff. We had helicopters. And
takeoff, you're managing takeoff and landings, so
was clear. Tying them down, parking them, all that stuff. So I ended up doing. They called me the tractor king. I used to be able to park the shit out of some aircraft. So it's hard as shit.
We're drinking old farmhouse ale right here. A silo is appropriate.
But you got a like a little tow truck, and then you have a tow bar, and then you have the nose of the aircraft. So there's 2 pivot points that you have to work parking. And a good director or person that has the wands, they'll be able to tell you, hey, you should be turning this way, or you should hold it, or whatever. And if they're good, they make me look like a badass, because then I get real cozy in there and park aircraft, 6 inches wing to wing, right next to each other. So
that's really cool.
So I did that first, and the whole time I really wanted to do photography, graphic design. I was spending a little time outside of my department, which you don't have a whole lot of time because you work your ass off. But there was time, evening before you go to bed, after chow, that you might actually have a little time to yourself. And I would take that time and I would go work in that department. I knew a little bit about Photoshop and some other things, so I was in there to, I could get in there and work on the ship's newspaper, or I did a little work on a website for the ship. So
cool. That's a way to get yourself in there.
Start
showing up on your free time.
That's it. So my chief and the chief from Public Affairs Division, which had you got journalists, you have photographers, you have printers. It's like all the media and public affairs were together.
Sure.
And my chief from Air Department and the chief from Public Affairs Division slept side by side on the bunks on the ship. So when we were out to deployment, I asked my chief in Air, I was like, I really want to go work here. I think that's where my skills would be best utilized on the ship.
Yeah.
And
look at this shit I drew on this napkin. I just drew that.
Will you let me go work there instead?
Let me do this. Look, let me show you my sketches.
I must have had something. Yeah, I walked in there with, I guess, conviction.
They appreciate that.
You got to make
world.
it. Oh, in so many worlds.
What's I've
just ask for what you want sometimes.
Yeah, well, at least show up. Show up with something. If you show up with something,
work hard. Then
What's Navy basic training like? Where'd you do basic?
So they just have one place now. It's in Great Lakes, Chicago. Yeah,
just one.
Yeah, it's just one.
Wow.
It's in Great Lakes, and my dumb ass went from the end of October to the beginning of January. It was the coldest shit I've ever experienced in my whole life. Great Lakes, the wind coming off the Great Lakes.
God,
yeah, that sucks.
It's like doing the Army guys doing it in Fort Benning in the summertime.
That sounds awful.
Like,
I think I'd rather have it cold, honestly.
I don't know. Oh God, who knows? Yeah,
it was tough. But anyway, long story short,
is it tough?
Basic training?
Yeah. Like,
it'd be tough now.
Right. Yeah, sure.
18
but I mean,
and spry, it's a fucking cakewalk.
In the movies, and I mean, this is, I know it's not like this in the movies, but as a civilian, I've probably been to more basic training experiences than most people would believe or understand just from the nature of my past jobs. And so, I mean, I know it's hard. Like, I know what the Army is, and it's kind of close to what it's like in the movies and what you see in TV. It's a little dramatized, but not. I mean, it is what you think it is.
It's more mentally demanding than I feel like physically. Physically, especially if you're young, man. The physical stuff. You just need somebody to tell you what to do and do it.
But you never see in the movies, is where I'm going. It's like you never see in the movies like Navy's basic training, you know? So I was just always wondering, like, if it's at, like...
it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all.
Sure. No, I'm sure it's meant to be a challenge.
Well,
on a lot of levels.
It is... I felt like mentally it was tougher than it was physically.
And that makes sense because it's more of a mental job. Well, right? I mean, the parking of...
What do you mean by
going
mental?
all day and like
they were trying to get in your head?
No, not that at all. It's more or less like they're breaking everybody down so that everybody's on the same plane.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just the way it goes.
So yeah.
Did you have to do the gas chamber? Like,
yeah.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Like,
so the gas chamber is.
Did you have to qualify with an M16 and all that kind of stuff?
All that shit.
I didn't know. I mean,
I don't think our physical demands were as high,
right?
As say the Army and Marine Corps in terms of runs and distance and some of that stuff that they had to routinely do, but. It's not part of our job either.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's specialties and stuff. Yeah, you can go above and beyond and go do whatever you want, but it's just not super practical. But in terms of like the mental thing, it's not like they're trying to play with your brain. It's more like as a young kid, I don't have my parents here. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm by myself.
Yeah,
I don't know any of these people, and I hate most of them.
Yeah,
it's like. You gotta get tough.
I'd say but that's still a fucking. It doesn't mean
waking them up
a mental game. A mental game. I'm not saying it like that. They're trying to like brainwash or do that kind of thing. But my thing, it's the same thing that they try to do. Like the Tough Mudder thing. I could totally see so much of that as like a military I think it was actually started by guys that were military.
Yeah, they were British forces.
But they're obstacles that are totally like stuff you'd see on like a boot camp course. And so, and the thing is like the mental thing that I'm talking about is like exactly what you're talking about. I just think it's like there's a word that I'm not using correctly that's not really registering, but I totally see it as that they're trying. It's not so they're trying to like. You have the potential to be broken, and you have the potential to, but they're doing it because they just know, like, hey, man, toughen up, like you're saying.
Yeah,
and that's tough mud.
It's
toughen
endurance.
Up.
It's
get through the fucking mud.
Getting thick skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Being accountable.
Get shocked. Boy, when that electroshock thing at the end of it,
you got shocked?
It popped me good, dude. It felt like...
That sounds awful.
Dude, it was terrible. It felt like someone straight up
shocked me. Somebody shocked me.
Well, it was like I've never really been shocked before, like in that capacity. So 10,000 volts. No, never been tased. I have been now.
You're missing out. You've been tased.
Just kidding.
It's like seriously.
The video
it's
you
like
on
not
YouTube.
my choice, okay, guys, not my choice.
It's like someone really quickly just went like really quick right to your gut, like like.
I mean, are you?
You're wet. And you're muddy.
On this particular obstacle, is there any way of getting through without getting shocked, or everybody?
Oh, if you're like going like, I like started walking through it and like it popped me and it like made me jump so hard, like, and I got so small.
Make you clench up.
Oh, dude, tighter, so tight, dude.
And does it only do it
I
once,
like
or do you
crunched a peanut, dude, a hard ass, maybe a walnut.
Do you get
Probably
shocked
just
more,
a peanut.
Did you get shocked more than once?
I tightened up.
We call that a clencher.
I like at least. Here's the thing. I went into it knowing that I'm gonna get shocked at least once, and I was gonna give it that because it's part of the quote unquote. But here's the thing.
That's like hazing, man.
Well, you do it, but you do it again. You do the Tough Mudder again. You don't have to go through electroshock.
Can you just run through it?
Yeah. You're gonna get shocked to fuck, man.
But you, if you got this, you just go. All right, here I go. Just barreled through it.
I'll put it to you this way. I had the initial thought that I was just going to run through that. And I got through it, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to walk and I'm going to at least get hit. And then because I had no idea what it was going to feel like or anything. And when I got hit...
I can Google this stuff, right?
One of the first things that I went through my head was, I am so glad I just didn't run through this shit. Because had I gotten like 7 or 8 of those, that would have been like tough.
Yeah.
Like that. And I'm telling you, I feel like I accomplished something. I feel quote unquote tough, but I ain't stupid. Like I'm the mouse that like, oh fuck, that hurt.
I'm out.
I ain't doing that. I'm gonna find my way through the maze. Ninja shit. Like no shame. But man, yeah, I get that. Like, and it's supposed to like the level. You said the level playing field is exactly what it is.
There were so many times when I was at basic trainings when I was thinking like covering them, and I was thinking
seeing people break.
Well,
in front of you.
No, I was like, man, it would like thinking about like basic training fantasy camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where civilians could pay to go to like an experience, like, you know, like 2 weeks
just
or
get
a
berated
week.
by,
or not even, a little bit, yes, but also getting like just a little taste of what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, because they get to do a lot of fun things. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be as strict. Like everyone, like it culminates with everyone going through the gas chamber. Yeah. You know, like that's some. You know, you're gonna make it through that. Man, that's some serious. Ooh. I've seen it. I didn't experience.
They send you in with a mask on and the camera.
Oh yeah.
So the whole thing of doing the gas is to show the power of the gas mask.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's not like
it's not. So you know how to use your equipment.
We just want to haze the shit out of you. No, it's like.
Yeah.
You should see this and appreciate the gear that you have,
and know that it works,
so that you can trust it.
Yeah,
and you know,
there was a few times where like people would be like, "I want to do it again," you know, and they're like, "You're fucking crazy," like snot pouring out, you know. Dude, it just opens up everything.
It's like a leaky faucet, man. I remember the guy, you know, they nominate positions in terms of, you know, recruits to do leadership things within the division, and the guy that got nominated to be kind of our head person in charge and the person that reported to the actual RDCs or recruit division commanders. You know, the guy that's supposed to be our leader, he comes out and he's dripping and crying and he throws up all over the place, and everybody just busted his balls so hard.
It's powerful. Like it's
serious. It's serious business, man.
Gas. Yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, I made the mistake of like, because I'd gone through and I had the mask on, but I forgot that it was still all over me, like my body, and I made the mistake of like rub. It was like hot, and I would like rub my face, and I was like, ooh, that was probably a bad idea, but I'll be all right. But
I did that in the pepper patch in Kentucky when I was about 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember crying the whole way home.
It's pretty bad.
That's the worst, man.
But so how long were you in was this where you served, the USS Iwo Jima?
Yep, LHD 7. She's actually just getting finished up helping in support of Irma. Hurricane relief efforts. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize about the military, or is the Navy specifically, LHDs are the type of ship that I have. What does
LHD stand for?
I can't remember what it is. Lando. Landing, helo docking. So
got it. Makes sense. Helicopters land there.
Yeah, helicopters land there. They have a well deck that opens up and floods water in so that hovercrafts can come on.
Oh, cool.
Which
Y'all need anything, water, anything like that?
I'm good.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's the ship I was on. But yeah, we went on a humanitarian aid mission in Liberia right after spending 7 months out to sea in support of Iraqi and enduring freedom. So as we're coming back to the United States, we actually got sent down to Monrovia, Liberia, to help with a humanitarian aid mission. They had a military coup, and their president was rolling out, and it's a big mess. We had to send SEALs in to like secure ports and all kinds of stuff. So we were, everybody thinks.
So you had SEALs on your like a team of SEALs on your multiple teams on and off. Like
you don't know who they are.
Yeah, they're cut from a different cloth.
Yeah,
can't you? You can kind of tell. I would assume. I could always pick out the special forces dudes on the army bases.
I know, but they're being a little more low key on the ship.
Right, that's true.
If you don't need to see them, you won't see them.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah, there's when I was doing the work with the MARSOC guys, and I was asking them, and so if anyone, we're kind of nerding out on some military stuff, but MARSOC is like the Special Forces division of the Marines.
Yep.
And I was doing some photo work for them, and I asked one of the dudes, and it was crazy because like these guys were so ridiculously smart. Yeah. And like one of the guys that was in the group that we were shooting, I swear to God, looked like a fucking G.I. Joe. Like tall,
like Gal from Street
the real American hero.
Dude, straight up looked like a comic book character.
Yep.
And he was like a surfer dude from like Southern California that had a jazz performance degree. Like he had a college degree in jazz percussion. No, he signed up, and they like immediately spotted him and said and beelined him into MARSOC.
No
like
joke.
He never did anything other than MARSOC.
They're like, we can work with that body.
Yeah, we can work. We can work with that. And but these guys are like super smart. But I asked him. We went out to dinner with him, and I was like, "So what's the difference between you guys and the Navy SEALs?" And one of them's response was, "Well, if you want to diplomatically resolve the problem and like come to a solution and like resolve some issues, you send us. If you want to kill every motherfucker in the room, you send the SEALs." Like that's kind of the difference. Like we're the guys that go into, he was telling me he was like in a village, and they had two like warring tribes, and they were trying to negotiate this treaty between them, right? It was like a team of like 8 of them, right?
It's like
and in the
negotiators.
Meeting, yeah, exactly, middlemen. Damn. In the meeting, the both the leaders of the tribes like turned to them and said, "If we don't get this resolved, you guys aren't going anywhere." Like kind of thing, like and it putting in their head like, okay, there's 7 of us and 200 of these dudes, like. Those aren't good odds. We got to figure this out, And that was their thing. Is like they were all like cerebral soldiers type of thing. But if
like
they need
brain surgeons, with muscles
that knows how to fuck shit up. But yeah, when he told me that, I just died laughing. He was like, when you want to kill every motherfucker in the room, you send in the SEALs. Those guys are. He's like, there's an intense breed of human being.
There's some really good internet memes about James Brown's birthday and some Navy SEAls taking out some pirates. That's pretty good. You just dig it. It's worth it.
YouTube James Brown. Hold on, I want to get this straight. I'm going to YouTube James Brown, Navy SEAls, and pirates. Okay, I can remember that.
I can do that.
I'll do that. That's exactly what I'm going to do when I get done with this.
It seems entertaining enough.
That sounds awesome.
All right, everybody.
Have you seen that James Brown? It's a class. Speaking of James Brown on YouTube, the James Brown
like when he was Christmas Day too.
When he was when he'd gotten it was like right after he like went on that rampage shooting up his office for the dude using his toilet and stuff. Do you remember that? Like in the 90s?
That poor guy was on.
It was like in the it was in the late 80s, early 90s or something.
Al Green's high for God.
And he went into
that was a James Brown direct quote.
Yeah. He went into his office. This was when he was just like raging coke I think it was late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, and someone had gone and used his private bathroom, and he flipped the fuck out and like shot up the office with a shotgun and went on got chased by the police down the interstate, OJ style.
No shit.
Yeah, and then after the fact, and it all kind of got resolved. There's this.
There's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, a little misunderstanding.
Drug
he was
misunderstanding.
he was on CNN some live CNN in the early days, and high as a kite.
Yeah, that's the one where he's like, "Were you high?"
Yeah.
When that happened, were you high? Yeah. I was high. I forgot.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm sexy.
I'm sexy. You sexy.
Yeah.
Like hitting on. Yeah, that is one of that's one of the greatest things.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
No pirates though. I didn't see any
feel
pirates.
good.
I gotta see
He's
this.
just doing
Navy
his
SEALs.
every song. He goes, "Papa's got a brand new bag." It is a great, good.
Oh,
good
man.
review. So I'm gonna go home and watch
Navy
that
SEAls
and
to
the Navy SEAL James Brown.
To James Brown.
Pirates.
Oh,
This,
well, you were talking about
we're
liking
playing a
the
little
funk.
badminton. We're like lobbing it back and forth.
You can hit a. You got it right here. Transition. You are also a very good blues. You mentioned playing the funk, but I know that you got some guitar chops.
Yeah.
No shit.
He's a blues dude. Like a blues guitar player.
I got
Cool.
Like I know how to play the blues. Like I know it, but I'm not a blues guitar player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Why didn't we have?
I never felt like I was anything else, man.
Yeah.
I just never did. I mean, I think blues is one of the easiest things for people to get into because it's simple. It's the progressions and the chord structures. You know, it's not anything crazy, but you know, the thing for me
the
was
same as bluegrass. Bluegrass is the same thing, really. Like it's not hard, but like
No, fucking A.
No, the chord structure and,
Yeah.
and stuff, just like the blues.
for
It's
me.
a simple structure. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
But like to really get it down,
you
is-
can't ever describe bluegrass and say not hard.
No,
Like,
absolutely,
Any
yeah.
aspect of it. Same thing in blues. Same
Exactly.
thing respectfully with blues.
That's the point I was making, and he can
It's-
play the
it's-
blues.
It's just the roots of all American music, man, and I love it. And I just kind of fell into it, man. Like
When did you start playing guitar?
I think 12.
Yeah,
12?
That's like probably the most popular
13
answer
12 or 10,
ever.
me
What
too.
age did you start playing?
What time did I
12.
when did I start getting hair on my nuts? Yeah, at the same time. It's right
That's
about
so
the
true.
Like,
That's the best. Yeah.
all right. I guess I got to
can
start
lead
playing
with
guitar
that.
now.
When you start playing guitar? Well, I started getting hair on my nuts about 12, 13, so about then.
And was blues
That's
right
good.
the thing you got that you were drawn to right away?
Man, all my friends were listening to grunge stuff and Ozzy Osbourne and Zeppelin, which was cool because that was like a great intro, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my intro into rock and roll music. But dude, I remember the day like it was yesterday, and my mom and I were in Walmart. We're walking around. She's buying some stuff, and I'm in the music area, right? So I'm digging through CDs and trying to figure out if I can find something on sale. I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood.
Yeah.
I put it in the car or in my mom's van on the way home, and like I knew it was good because I knew. Like, I was familiar with his name, but I didn't know anything about his music. And I remember putting that shit on and just being like, oh, my God.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
I remember. It's funny you said because like I remember exactly where I was. That like the same feeling of when I saw him, heard him for the first time. It was like 2:00 in the morning when I was 12 or 13. Austin City Limits, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this
I
dude,
didn't know you could play the guitar.
this
like
dude is on
that.
11 all
Yeah.
the time.
The whole time.
Dude, it just woke me up to different music, and I just used that to kind of springboard into different things. Got into B.B. King and Buddy Guy, and then, you know, Albert King especially, and then Albert King kind of led to, you know, some of these Stax and some of these other cats from Memphis. So, like, I was really digging on Howlin' Wolf for a bit.
Yeah.
And then
Well, that's one of the beautiful
Rufus
things
Thomas,
about
all those dumb funk
Do you
songs.
go really deep?
Ugh.
Do you go deep, like into Mississippi Delta stuff?
A little
and,
bit, like
yeah.
Mississippi Fred McDowell, and
Sure.
like Junior Kimbrough and some stuff like that. Like,
But that's the like beautiful thing
Sean
about
Hurt and-
blues music in particular is you can just follow the lineage so well.
it's great, man. It's
you know,
very,
it's like a
it's
very
defined
mapped
and-
out like DNA of like. Okay, you hear Stevie Ray Vaughan do this lick, and then you go, and then you're listening to Albert King. You're like, oh, that's where he got
yep,
that.
Yep.
And then and then you listen to Albert King and you go back to whoever influenced him.
Well, it's like you listen to a bunch of the Led Zeppelin songs and you remember that like Robert Johnson did a bunch of them too.
I mean,
like
Clapton, Cream, all the Crossroads stuff.
Example.
Like, dude,
but it's great. The Stones.
Yep.
The Stones did a ton of that shit, and they did. The thing is that's cool is the different. Like I heard a rendition of almost like an EDM-ish version of No Diggity. There's this one channel. It's the Rudimental. Like I was telling you about Pandora. But like there's this band Rudimental. They're from the UK, and it's kind of like Sound Tribe-ish kind of thing, but they do a little bit more of like that. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm so blessed. But they're good. I saw them on like an Apple thing, like a live broadcast thing they were doing, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are good. Like
what's their name?
Rudimental.
Okay.
But it's good stuff to work out to. Like if you're doing like trying to get.
Is it instrumental stuff?
No. Well, in the sense that it's they have some stuff that's lyric based, but it's like the same kind of deal. Like if you were into like I was talking about like Crystal Method and Prodigy and like even like Filter in the sense like their later stuff. Like it's like they had like. I don't know. I'm kind of straying off into a little bit of a thing, but they had. I think that music, for some reasons, just speaking to me right now. I don't know why, but it's really cool. There's another guy, Francis and the Lights. He's badass right now. Yeah. He's really good stuff, but it's like just gets you in a different mindset. I don't know.
What, you hit up some blues jams? When's the last time you hit up a blues jam?
Dude, I'm sucking, man.
Yeah.
So. I used to play out all the time. And a lot of people didn't realize, but when I was going to school at Watkins College of Art in Nashville, the whole time I was in school, in college, I was playing music downtown. So I was playing in Paradise Park for almost 5 years, every Thursday night. So my buddy Lopez and a rotating cast of talented characters, we would play there all the time. We used to play out in Kingston Springs a bunch. I just haven't been playing, man. I've gone to a couple
busy
jams.
Man.
I know, but I've even gone out and tried to sit in and go to some of these jams and stuff, and the chemistry's not there or something. Yeah. I don't know. And I was spoiled playing with good people all the time before. So then, like the blues jam is where people come up and they learn how to play on stage. They know how you're gonna have people that are horrible that are playing over other people. The volume's loud, all that shit. Like. Yep. That is their opportunity for people to help coach them into better stage musicians.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I'm above that or that that's not something that I had to go through myself, but now that I'm a little older.
Been there, done that.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And I'm used to playing with good people, man. I'm so spoiled. Like,
good
people in Nashville.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Incredible people, yeah.
So, and I don't sing either.
Right.
I can't sing and play at the same time to save my life, dude. I cannot. It's impossible. I can't. If I'm trying to strum and talk, I can't even spit out. I can't spit out a full sentence.
Funny. Because that's interesting. Because I mean, you're a good guitar player. I've heard you play.
I appreciate it, man.
You're good. I remember at the office. I remember when we were working together, and I had my guitar sitting on my desk. I brought like one of my extra guitars in, and people would pick it up, and I'd
no.
And like one day, I wasn't even paying attention, and I hear just like I was like. Who was that? And turned around.
I hadn't played my guitar for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I played it this morning just in case for some weird reason
we
you
called,
put me on the spot for something.
Yeah, I got my sax back there. We could totally get a little blues jam going.
Dude, I've been teaching myself piano.
Oh yeah.
It is cool.
Really?
Nuts. How's that going?
So my dad has played piano since he was 4 years old, right?
Oh, okay.
He's a badass. He's played in rock bands, country bands. He's been the music director at the church that I went to growing up for 30-something years. So he's a badass. He's the guy you want as a band leader.
Right.
Because he's the guy that charts things out. He understands, the number system. He understands, like, all the technical things, and he's responsible and very meticulous in terms of the notes he takes and stuff. So my dad is a badass, right? He put me in piano lessons when I was... I don't know, I was probably 5 years old. Playing along, learning the stuff, and then as I think I was probably a year into it, and the songs started getting harder, and they realized that I was just memorizing them and playing them by ear, that I wasn't reading the music like I was supposed to.
Sure.
I was like, man, I don't want to do this. This is too much. And now after I've played music, I do everything by ear. I feel like you can put me in any situation, and I know when to sit back. I can compliment the space right. I can listen and play along with, unless it's like some free jazz shit.
Right.
About anybody, I can
hang.
I can sit in and hang. But I don't know what it was, but I said, man, I'm kind of tired of playing guitar.
Learn the piano.
I want to play the piano. And I asked my dad. He had some old synthesizers at the house in Owensboro. And it's like, hey, Pops, can I take these old ones that are kind of in storage? And I wasn't expecting him to cut them loose, but he said, as long as you don't bring them back.
Yeah, nice.
No shit.
So what are we talking about here?
So
kind of old synthesizer.
Oh shit, I don't know. It's probably from the '90s. I don't even know which model it is.
Old.
He's got a Korg, and he gave me two. One, I wasn't really digging the sounds as much, but I've got one that's full size. So I've got like
weighted keys and everything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome.
So I set up our back room at our house.
Yeah.
And I kind of teed it up and got computer going here, and then I've got keys going here, and I've got guitars over here. So I just started recording things and making music at home.
What are you awesome. Recording through?
I'm just doing GarageBand.
Yeah. That's
just to get going. And
it works.
I got no problem with it. But
nope.
So are you trying to? I was thinking about that the other day about. I was talking about this, like when Lily, my little girl, starts, doing piano lessons. I'm gonna take the opportunity to so show me what you learned. Mm-hmm. So then, I'm kind of,
take some notes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try because I'm gonna be like, okay, if I'm paying for this, I'm gonna learn how to play too.
You read music playing horns, right?
No, I can't read.
Oh,
music.
so you're
I play by ear.
Yeah, I don't
read
music either.
I mean, I can read chord changes.
Yeah.
I know to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I know what it represents. It's just not
sight reading. What you're talking about is the sight reading, being able to put a sheet of music in front of you and say, "Hey, play this."
Yeah, I couldn't play "Mary Had a Little Lamb." It would take me a minute.
Yeah,
it would take. Well, I was doing the same thing in the sixth grade band with horns.
I did trumpet for 2 weeks.
I would just learn. I would just remember how it went, and then I would just play it.
Play it.
That's easy.
They're not giving anything too crazy.
Yeah, it was just. And so that was actually the reason I was second chair, is because every time she part of the chair defining process, when she picks who's first chair, which is so stupid anyway. We're playing the same thing.
Yeah.
So dumb. But she would put a piece of sheet music in front of me and it was all right, sight reading. I'm like,
that was like my choir experience. That's exactly. Oh, I couldn't read. I could again. The sight reading thing is always. Oh, it's same
same thing,
same deal.
You just know.
Well,
no, you get it. You get your basic idea of what your starting pitch is.
Yeah,
and you follow the notes.
You just follow
same
it's
thing.
The same thing.
Okay, I was like, you got to have that perfect pitch shit in the choir.
The voice is an instrument. Yeah, well, it helps.
It helps.
The thing is, between now, it's I think there's certain things singing wise, and it's almost like a point there are certain songs that I know that if I hear it in a different key than it's either been studio produced in or I play it in, I know I'm wait a minute.
I have moments like that.
Yeah, and that's what that is. And it's training. It's a training thing. Yeah. And some people I think are. My dad started me on that shit early. He had
you
me
can hum a song and be pretty on key even without hearing it a lot of times.
Oh
right?
yeah, a lot of the time.
I get I've noticed that as I've gotten older too.
It's ear training. It's ear training,
man.
It's because you play by ear.
Yeah, that's it.
I know you got it too.
Oh yeah,
it's a product of Randy has it.
Oh,
Randy
absolutely.
Bowen, incredible because the motherfucker
right
plays by ear.
That's
I don't have any reference, but I know that's the key.
Pretty,
right?
Yeah, if it is not, it's pretty close. Yeah, exactly.
That's D right there. Here, check it. Hold on. Let's check it. Hold on. Oh shit! You got a phone? You got a tuner?
We're gonna geek out.
We're gonna check it later. That's a D right there.
That, it's funny that you brought that up about learning the piano. It's that's an instrument that it's the foundation. It's a great foundation, but I think it'll be easier a little bit to read the sheet music, but I would like to know how to play piano better than I do. I saw you post a video. I'm pretty good. You can play some tunes.
So the thing that I realize is that I approach it the same way I approach a guitar, and it's always patterns for me.
Right.
So it's like, all right, where do these patterns live? Where can I go, throughout the neck? But now I'm thinking about it, and I'm starting to feel out what patterns make what sound. So like there are minor patterns in terms of chord structures,
Sure.
The major ones, and then I'm starting to figure out, how to come in on the back side of the chord, say.
Right.
Moving positions and stuff.
The different inversions
Yep,
and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what pianos helped me realize, like figure out a little bit more of that guitar. But it helped me figure it out on guitar too. I had a hard time visualizing it in guitar sense, like a jazz sense with the inversions and everything. I get it now because piano really helps me understand, like, second. It's just number. Then you go back.
Yep.
Number system. It's just number system. That's huge, though. The number system has been the thing that's really been that and ultimate guitar chord charts. That's pretty much been the king. That's been it.
I need to add some chords to my repertoire. I think.
Man, it's fun.
I had to
I like
learn
stacking chords.
I'm working in the process of trying to get in with this like wedding band conglomerate, right?
Dude,
Playing,
that's good money.
Playing horns, guitars,
That'd be
percussion, all this
awesome.
kind of stuff. And I'm in the system as either a utility man or I can be like lead, right? So I was working on my like set list of like, okay, if I get a lead. Get a gig and I got to be the band leader.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to play?
Yep.
So I was kind of looking through. I was like, man, I don't have any like contemporary shit in my list, really. Like, I mean, I had mostly older things and whatnot. And I was like, okay, I need something from the 2000s,
Yeah.
And so one of the ones I picked was that 24 Karat by Bruno Mars.
Oh, dude, that song is fantastic.
Right?
That breakdown in that song is like.
And I was thinking, I was like,
so
okay, this is a 2-chord funk tune, right? That's
that
kind
whole album is
that's what I had in my head.
fantastic.
That I was like, okay, that'll be an easy one. It's more of just learning where how to hit the change the right way. But when I really dug into learning it, like it actually is using as compared to other tunes, but like it's got like some serious like jazz chords in it,
Dude.
Like movement. Like
go listen to some Earth, Wind, and Fire, dude.
Yeah, well, but that's not what he's emulating. He's emulating
No,
like the
but
80s.
still.
Mark Ronson's the one that produced that, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, it's
he's
using like
awesome.
the minor
Mark
nines and
Ronson's
augmented
shit.
chords
Such a
and
badass,
diminished
man.
chords and like the passing and
Daft Punk
like
does a lot of that shit.
and like learning. I never thought that learning 24 Karat Gold by Bruno Mars would like it was like one of those little like moments when you like turn the key and this box opens.
Yeah.
Like what it was is like. Music theory guys would go, well, of course you can go from an augmented this to a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like it just makes
But pop
sense,
music isn't
right?
used to that.
Yeah.
But
Quincy Jones.
when I heard
he said
like,
no.
and I've heard those chords, and I knew the shapes, but when I put them together, and I was like, oh, that's how you put those together. Pfft, I got this.
Yep.
You said Earth, Wind, and Fire. I learned in
some of that
September. But Lily knows it as body da dancing. That's what she sings from Trolls because that's the song on Trolls.
Okay,
That's the opening number to
sure.
Trolls.
Yeah.
And so the day she goes, I want to hear body da dancing.
Oh, that's
I was like, all right, guess I'll learn that one now, And I was like, ooh, this one's got a little bit more chords than I thought,
Shit.
It's a good one.
My
But
nephew,
dancing.
my nephew sang a Stevie Wonder tune one time when I was over at my wife's sister's house, and I got so overwhelmed because I was like, oh, this dude is singing this song. It's like such a pure song. And then it was, I just got super overwhelmed. Like I was brought to tears almost because my nephew was singing Stevie Wonder. I was like, oh, thank God he knows what good music is, and he's singing it, and he's getting into
huge.
it. And I was like, oh my God, when we have kids.
When my 2-year-old when my now 4-year-old, when she was 2, there was a point when she said I had like some Led Zeppelin track was playing, but Jimmy Page was like doing some really bizarre, taking it out there, like it was a live thing. It was like a BBC session, I think. And Dolly comes in, and she's like, "Daddy, what's that?" And I'm like,
Come here.
No, I basically said,
Come
I'm
here,
like,
darling.
no, all I said was like, because I was clean, I was doing something or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's Led Zeppelin. And she just goes, I look at her and she stops and she has this thinking look and she goes, rock and roll. And I'm like, I literally start crying. Just like, I was like, shit. Just got me.
Awesome.
One
the music,
got me.
That is one of the cooler things about having an offspring and raise it, like seeing the music starting to like
grab hold of them a little bit.
Yeah, like,
but at the same time,
I'm going to have something in common with this.
Yeah.
I will also give her a heartfelt rendition of "Row, Row, Row Your Boat."
Sure, absolutely.
And Five Little Monkeys,
definitely,
and all that any day of the week.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll get some hooks.
That's fun, but the fun thing about that too is taking those songs and not just singing it like row, row, boat. Like we'll jazz them up.
Right.
Like I'll go like from the G, like a G, like what, I don't even know what they're called, but it's like
suspended chords.
It's like where you actually have the 3 on the B, 3rd fret on the B down too. So it's like the G down to the D, down to the E minor. So it's like row, row, row your boat, like movement the whole time, dude. Like it's so cheesy, but it's fun. It's like, but the thing is, what's cool. So I've like, again, I tell people if you want to easily like feel gratification, satisfaction when you're playing an instrument, learning an instrument, learn children's songs or learn Christmas songs.
Yeah,
you've heard them your entire life,
so they're familiar.
Extremely. That's your ear training without even having ear training.
That's why there's some classic rock songs that I've never played in my life, but I've heard them so many times and then my ear's good. I can slip into a solo and be able to hit most of it.
Yeah,
I'd say the same thing because even though there's like, I hit different blues stuff, but I know the same thing. Like the first couple of times I played Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff because I was ZZ Top. I was like, again, all great stuff, Air Club, but I never had that like Texas Flood moment. But I had so many other moments, like, you know, that I had the Eliminator moment. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's when but to me, I don't know. There's just those things those songs, those certain things that click and grab you that just make it happen.
That's the magic of music, man.
I love it.
Little tug.
But if you can do something that you've heard your whole life and just get that, and the thing is, it's fun because then you're trying to like church it up, jazz it up a little bit, you know.
I saw ZZ Top at the Ryman about 10 years ago.
Oh man!
And
wow!
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Ryman?
Yeah, I've got the hatch print. It's legit. It's so good. It's like a rattlesnake and a big, huge ZZ.
Wow.
It's just
so you brought up the hatch print.
Yeah.
And you're a designer.
Yeah.
And they're legends in the game.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about what they're doing now? Was it just a matter of an inevitability that they were just gonna? I mean,
it's sustaining them printing, man.
Yeah.
I think that's good, man.
I'm talking about them moving into the big fancy hotel.
I don't
and
have
all
anything.
The shit that they've done. You got to adapt.
You do.
It's like them putting a bar on the top of Tootsie's.
You know,
it's like more people want to come here.
Fuck
it, put a bar on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what they did. They
wants
said,
a rooftop bar.
we can't get any more people in this place. Where else can we put them? Fuck it, put them on the roof.
Put 'em on top.
Yeah.
No, I'm in full support.
Yeah.
I think it's great that they have the opportunity to extend, their run. I mean, they're historic, and I think it's fantastic to continually, preservation through production is what they call it, which I think is great. It's the idea of continually printing, maintaining, using these blocks, creating new blocks. It's just great, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome to find, that they found a place that can be their permanent home, that people aren't going to, rip them out of, or the rent's not going to go up. Like, they can sustain themselves right there, and I think it's great, man, and it introduces even more people to letterpress and art.
I've never gone and done a hat show a tour.
Janie and I went the day.
I guess it's one of those things. It's
They
like
had
I've
opened in
lived
the new
here my
space.
whole life, and I knew it was down there, and I just never I sorely regret that I didn't go back when it was in the original spot. I mean, I saw it all the time. I was like, what are they doing there? Oh, they make the old building was so dope, and the way you could the big window and you could just look straight back and see the whole operation.
Yeah.
I do regret not going and seeing the old digs.
Dude, it's the same equipment. It's different people keeping it alive. I think it's great. It lives and breathes, and you just kind of you got to roll the punches, and you get an opportunity to kind of extend your life and kind of set yourself up a little bit. I don't think it's a bad thing, man. I'm a big fan. Yeah,
they make awesome posters.
So I think that's a perfect segue.
Going back to some design talk.
Yeah, man.
Go for it.
I was wanting to talk to him about his business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he's a hustler. This guy's a hustler.
Go-Go Jones.
This guy, Go-Go Jones. That's why he's here.
Media.
That's why he's here. Is he's so busy that he sucks at his social media.
I tweeted. I don't know.
I saw the tweet. I was going to ask you about it.
Ago,
yeah,
said,
you said this was the tweet. It was something along the lines of like, it was. I like following you. You're a good Twitter follow.
Thanks.
You're not the best Instagram follow.
You're a good Twitter
but
follow.
You're a good Twitter follow. But
follow.
you're not the best. But you're busy working. You ain't got time for no Instagrams.
Tough, man. I'm trying to sprinkle little tidbits.
You said something about saying how you were very proud of the fact that you've been busy doing work without posting any putting any effort into social media, essentially promoting your work to try and get it, that you've been so busy doing it.
That shit bit me in the ass.
Oh, did it? Did it really?
I had a couple slow months this year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
For the first time ever. I like to think it was because I'm kind of on a social justice run in terms of trying to support people who don't look like me, and
the cause. Your Twitter feed is definitely more socially conscious than anything else. Like you're promoting social issues as opposed to promoting yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it.
Maybe the distinction is you should do your Instagram promoting your work because you're a visual art. You know what I mean? And then using,
it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough balance.
You're great. You do promote a lot of socially conscious stuff. Like you're pretty active on the Twitter on that end.
I think. We've been focusing a lot, Janie and I, my wife.
Dude, that's some sick shit right there.
The cigar boxes. I'm telling you, boys got some design skills.
We've been trying to be more conscious and be more inclusive in the way we operate and how how we interact with clients and how we design.
Classy shit right there.
Yeah,
I got a little bit of classy things in there.
Look at that.
I know it's
you got a dick wrap right there. Look at that thing.
It's tough to
look at that fire, man. That's cool right there. Did you take the photo? Did you do the photography? Were you about to?
Oh hell no.
No,
dude, the person that took that photo is one of the best food photographers in the United States.
That is like the sexiest hot sauce photo.
Big shout out to Kyle Dreyer.
That's not easy work.
No, he threw me a bone. I hit him up. I hit him up when I was in college, and I said, "Hey, man, how much would it cost to shoot some work?" Because I saw his work was awesome, and I wanted him to shoot it. And he's like, "Dude, I don't think you can afford what I can pay, but I was in your shoes once." He said, "You did photography in the Navy." He said, "If you come assist for me one day, I'll shoot your products at the end."
Oh, that's cool.
That's badass.
And where's he based?
So he's based in Nashville. If you go down, if you're going down Second, like you're going toward Korean Vets, you'll see a white building with green type that says Dreyer, Dreier, I believe it is. He's fantastic, man.
And that's his jam, food photography?
Yep. He's fantastic, man. He's great. But he threw me a bone, looked out for me, and it really got me some traction.
Yeah. So with the social media thing, because like you're a freelancer, you're in the freelance world. That's the world I'm living in currently. It's hard to do it.
Yeah.
And the thing about that being a freelancer in any field is not getting good at what your skill set is and being proficient at your skill set.
It's getting good at business.
It's getting good at business. It's being the hustler to making the phone calls and sending the emails and tracking the, following up with people. And that's some exhausting shit.
It is so exhausting.
So are you primarily doing that yourself? Like, because I know you've opened a news. You mentioned you and your wife. You've got your studio.
Yeah. So
office. What do you call it? Studio.
It's a studio.
Yeah, studio.
It's a studio we're sharing with a good friend of mine, Alicia Waters, who heads up Creative Mornings in Nashville. She's a mover and shaker and a long-time friend. And I've got a bunch of buddies over in the building that I'm working out of that I've known for many years, going back to, renting space out of Fort Houston back in the day. So a lot of people have kind of graduated from that onto building bigger businesses and things. We're all kind of shacked up in this building, which is great. So
it's like a co-op kind of a thing, or is it a business?
It's really just a place that has a bunch of businesses in it.
Okay, yes, that's what I meant. Like, there's everyone's helping keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Like, everyone pays a little bit each month to be in the space.
And we divided
kind
it
of
out.
help each other out and whatnot.
There's definitely social benefits in terms of, like, being able to network with everybody, and people bring people by and stuff when they're giving tours and stuff. Like, it's really good. We look out for each other. We've known each other for a while, so
it's a good model.
I feel really lucky.
Well, is there different types? Like, so you're a designer and brand guy, but like, there's a guy that's like a coder, website back-end builder that, like, he does his thing. That, you know what I'm saying? To where if he gets work and be like, oh, you're looking for someone to design the site? Well, this guy over here is pretty awesome. Yeah. Or you need some photography for the site. This guy up here,
that definitely happens. Yeah, we've got we've got Beth Matthews, she's a great web designer. We've got Dogwood Films. He's a good buddy of mine. He does a lot of video
stuff. What was his
name?
Dogwood. That's not his name. That's the business.
Yeah, Dogwood.
Dogwood Films. Yeah. I thought you said Dogwood Films, and I was like, what kind of name is that? Like,
hell of a name is that?
Were his parents smoking in the 70s? Like, geez, Dogwood Film.
Yeah, we got Grand Palace, which is a screen printing shop. Good buddies of mine. So when I have client projects that come in and need to get some shirts done or some prints and posters, like, you see the Las Calaveras stuff from Crown Heads. They've printed anything screen printed in the last 10 years. They've printed it. So they're good folks. But
there was a moment when you were posting a lot of, like, personal work on your socials, like that series you did with the robots.
Yeah.
Like, and where that was just an exercise in your own creative forces. But then, like, how much? Because I was thinking about this when we were ramping up to come talk to you. Is like, I mean, the idea of going like, man, I could license these and like and get these. I saw them and I was like, those posters could be on any kid's wall in America. He did this like line of like robots, like all in the same kind of color. Yellow and like color scheme. They all had the same kind of, like, they lived obviously in the same universe, and it was very, I don't know what would be the.
It was just art prints, really.
Yeah, it was art prints of these cool cartoon robots, and I was
Grand Palace printed those too.
Like, how do you go? So you did do prints and try to sell them. I mean, do you have like? Do you ever see?
We've got our hands in a lot of different things, man. My wife and I. So the thing you're referring to is this little small. We like to call it our long-term passion project. So it's, if we want to sell some things, like just make some prints or do some fun things that are outside of work, it's totally separate. Like, there's no pressure for us to do it. It's hard to keep up social media for one account, more or less two. So it's like we're not pushing it real hard. But Janie had a really great run because she did some eclipse prints when the eclipse came around, and we kind of put them out through that.
What did she do for the eclipse?
Oh, she did this amazing.
Oh, I saw that paint. It was a painting, right?
She did an amazing pen and ink illustration. Yeah. And we scanned it in, and the guys at Grand Palace printed that too. So
nice.
What's your handle on Instagram?
Oh, Steve Creates.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Oh, then more.
Well, it's more. It's your Instagram is more of like your life.
Yeah, I've switched it over that way. Yeah, it's.
Well, then I won't throw that up.
I mean, but if you scrolled far enough back, you would.
Do you have any of the? I want to find those robots.
So if you go to goadventureclub.com.
Okay, hold on.
That's got.
Yeah, because I saw those robots and I was like, man, those things could be on coffee mugs.
Yeah,
like they're just like it's a cool design, and it's just the design of an idea that it's so designed.
So I did. I mean, the reason those whole robots even came to existence was I did some illustrations for.
Yeah, there they are.
Creative Mornings, which Alicia, my studio mate, and I and Christian Slice helped start in Nashville.
That's pretty fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, man, it's cool. But I did them originally for Creative Mornings, and people were like, "Man, those are pretty cool. You should do something." And I did some. I still have some left, but it's not like I sold out. They weren't flying off the shelves, but I got some good responses, and it gave us enough kick in the ass to get something started where we could just make things that we wanted and sell them without any pressure on ourselves, which was really nice.
What website are you doing there?
So that's goadventureclub.com.
And okay,
that's my wife and I's
and
separate
is that a shop.
Yep.
Okay.
Just a little shop.
Because I've thought about that often for myself with photography, of just going, okay, well, where can I just want to sell prints.
Yeah.
So
that's what we do.
Do you handle all the shipping and all that for that?
I mean, we're not getting so much in
where it's
and it's not a huge focus of our business. Like, it's a nice little promotional thing. It's a nice kind of release from doing all the
they're cool. They're really
all the other
fun.
client work. You know, it's a nice change of pace, and it's fun. So, I mean, we've got that going on. Been doing the Go-Go Jones thing. Started,
So let me ask you this, coming from the same kind of direction. So Go-Go Jones.
Yep.
If I was
just going to ask.
If I said Go-Go Jones to anybody, well, and they go, oh, I don't know what that website is, but it's a design site, and it was a conscious choice to not do something designed out of, obviously. Yep. I did the same thing with for the photography. I mean, that's where the Rocco Peppers thing comes from. Yep. It was like, okay,
it's a moniker more than anything,
exactly.
Right?
I was like, there's enough. I can't get Livingston photography. That's a lot. That's a long URL,
Jones, dude.
Yeah, right. AdamLivingston.com is taken. Like, I was looking at all the Adam Livingston. I did have AdamLivingstonPhotography.com, and I was like, who wants to fucking type that in, right? And so I was like, what am I going to name? And that was kind of a moment. I was like, Rocco Peppers, my dogs. Yeah. I was like, and that became like I was like, okay, that's my brand. That's my brand.
That's it, man.
That's my online brand. So where did Go-Go Jones come from?
So it actually came from one of my clients. So my cigar client, Crown Heads, which is a Nashville cigar company. I started work with them for maybe 5 years ago, and it was right as I was coming out on my own. It was actually the client that I was able to leave the place that we were both employed at to do my own thing with. So they were kind of my springboard into the freelance game. So that was great. But we worked with them for a while, and I don't know. It was it's been a pretty good relationship. But
and then just like you're always, Go-Go Jones. You're just always on the go.
Yeah. So what came around was they always give everybody that they work with a nickname, and they just said I was a go-getter. Like, I was just hustling all the time, always getting shit done, and being thorough, and just like,
what a horrible nickname.
just hammering it out. And it's like, well, shit, I'm gonna look that up. Let's see what.
And it didn't exist.
It didn't exist, and I figured, if anything, I mean,
now
the biggest seller is that I could say that and nobody could misspell it.
Right.
They could, like, getting that right every time was a huge thing. I was like, all right.
Yeah, Go-Go Jones. Yeah. Like, it's not that hard to spell. Exactly. So, as opposed to STEPHEN versus with a V.
Yeah, because there's no SteveJonesDesign.com. Yeah, that's stupid shit. So, no, they gave it to me, and it was available.
So, what do you find is the biggest challenge for you as a freelancer in the hustle game of keeping? Is it the getting the clients? Is it all the admin that goes along with? I mean, like, where do you? Because I know for me, it's just like the tedious shit of like hunting down work.
Yeah, it's
exhausting.
A pain in the ass, man. It's a lot of work. I've been really fortunate. I feel like being able to have tons of referrals come in.
Yeah.
And when you get a couple good projects under your belt, people see you. You have a little more credibility. It's easier to build on that kind of stuff. And
your confidence, I'm sure, is a lot better. And when you're going into a place and you
got to be able to,
you're there because they want you there. Yeah. And you can be a little bit more like, I don't know if that's the right kind of.
Well, it gives you a little more leverage from a business standpoint if you're in demand, or if people hold you in a certain regard. It's like, well, all right, I understand. That gives me a little power in the relationship, which as a freelancer, you don't have a lot of power all the time.
Yeah, because you want the work.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to walk away from a gig. You're like, this is going to be too much of a headache. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do this. Yep. Like,
I just turned one down yesterday that I was like,
I don't want to touch that.
I think that's going to be bad news. Like,
what was it, the brand or the people? When you met the people and you're like, I don't want to deal with these people.
It was both. So I'm usually pretty good.
That's tough to walk away from
Dude,
a gig.
and I knew it was like
tough.
it was a restaurant gig.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be a good, steady thing for a while. But I was like, man, I knew the people that I would be working with and the role that I would be playing. Like, dude, I want to be the creative director. I don't want to be the designer for somebody else anymore.
Right.
Sure.
I just work with somebody else, and it's not an ego thing. It's like the thing that I enjoy the most is like being the person that has the idea and the vision and like creating this thing to support the client. And when I end up playing a designer from a freelance standpoint, I've got some other creative director telling me what to do. I'm like, I'm just kind of puppeteering some shit around.
Yeah.
And I don't get any love out of that. You know, I'm passionate about design. I want to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I want to be working directly with the client. And I realized, like, I worked on a project with somebody recently, and they had another one, and I was just like, man, I like you as a person. I think you're great.
Right.
But in terms of what I want out of the relationship or like the working relationship, it just wasn't going to work out. So I was like, man, I like you. I appreciate the opportunity, but I think I want to be focused on the nitty gritty, getting my hands dirty and stuff. So that was like a new epiphany for me. So it was really cool to see, and I felt really good when I was able to come home and tell my wife, it's like, man, I don't think this was a good project, and I feel really good that we didn't take it.
You gotta know when to hold 'em.
Kenny's on his last tour, man.
Know when to walk away. That's true though. That is the hardest thing.
Yep.
Is to go. I
turned
I'm gonna
one.
walk away.
I
from
turned
a
one down.
gig.
Actually, that would have been your and my gig for something. It was like a thing where I kept getting more and more from them, and like before I commit, like complete. And I was like, you know what? This seems like it's going to be a little more than it's worth. And that's funny because then the girl who was originally booked it, who then passed me off to this other girl, she quit.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh. Okay, cool.
Do that no more.
I don't got to do that no more. Then good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I can't believe
it was a good
Kenny
decision,
Rogers, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
my buddy Mike Zimmerman is he's been his drummer for the last 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
That's awesome.
He's a guy I used to play with on the regular.
Silver Fox, man.
He's awesome. He's super talented. But yeah, he's doing the last run with Kenny, man.
That's
Kenny's
so
doing his
cool.
last batch of songs. So it's funny you saying that.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's a.
That's it.
But like I said, you gotta know when to hold.
Know when to fold 'em.
And that's one of the things that I think good on you to be able to do that, because it does take. I've been there.
Not everybody is.
It's tough.
I realize that I'm in a fortunate position.
Yeah.
It's not like people that need work can just be like, no, man, screw you. You're going to be an asshole to work with, and this job's going to suck. It's like
you need the work.
I got to take the work, so
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with this dude's bullshit, or I'm going to deal with, being less fulfilled, or whatever the case may be. But yeah,
So-
it's tough, man.
Yeah.
When you're in
I
between
feel lucky.
gigs,
Yep.
when you're in between gigs or in between projects or whatnot, like, do you have do you wake up in the morning and you go, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to have my coffee or whatever your morning breakfast is, a choice.
Little Steve Ray
tea,
Vaughan,
little blues. I'm going to hammer out some emails for a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to put in some hours before lunch or whatever, and just and cast out the net. See if anybody's biting.
Talking about just kind of like the normal routine.
And then going, okay, I'm done. I've done all I can do for the day. I'm gonna go for a bike ride. I'm gonna go, because that's the other thing. When you're in the freelance world, it's like knowing when to turn it off, or like, do you just establish like, okay, the only way I'm gonna get work is to sit down at this computer and fucking send out these god dang emails.
So I've been really lucky lately because we're actually working. Janie, my wife, has actually come on full time to help. So we're combining forces. She's a super talented UX designer. So she's worked in software design.
So let's define that for some people.
UX.
That,
I was just about to be like,
user,
but then you said software.
That's user experience.
Experience.
So
yeah.
that's any kind of
of a website or app.
It could be she is very capable of assessing a physical situation with the same principles and solving problems the same way. But what her job entailed beforehand was thinking about how humans interact with technology. What are their tendencies? What do we need to consider in terms of making sure it's accessible to as many people as possible.
Are people more inclined to swipe left or swipe right?
Yeah. what is industry practice, right?
Yeah,
so she's super talented. So bringing her into the mix allows us to offer new things that I couldn't offer by myself. And she's you saw from the Eclipse print, she's a badass illustrator too. So now we have a different skill set, but we're focusing less on the Go-Go Jones side of the work and starting a new business that's
Singing some Pete Seeger.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're actually we're focusing on launching this new business that is it's more about doing good with design. So serving the people who are doing good in the community with
the noble side of design work.
It's been tough to try to figure out how do we phrase it, how do we what do we call it. Some people call it social impact design. Some people just call it.
So is that what you were doing the other day with the taking up the street with the?
No, that was actually just that was more about raising awareness about how we use public space for the parking day stuff.
Right, yeah, but I mean that's kind of the same idea, though, right? I mean it applies in a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean civic design's a big thing that I'm.
Tell Matt about it.
It was parking day.
So parking day is it's a day put on. The Nashville Civic Design Center kind of heads it up, but we take parking spaces downtown, east side, Nolensville, wherever people want to do it, but they reclaim parking spaces and turn them into small parks, which is really badass. So what it does is it's really trying to bring awareness to the idea of being conscious of how we use public space. Like, I lived in San Francisco. There wasn't a ton of park space, but there was was a small area, a couple feet down from where I was working that I could go and actually see some greenery. And,
Sure.
It was like a park, and it was cool. And I think it's kind of the same idea of just thinking about how we use our space.
Yep.
I mean, 2nd Street has the only trees pretty much of any sidewalk in Nashville if it's not residential. So there's a lot of things to think about, but I'm big on civic design. I think it's something I'm really passionate about.
Well, it helps you be proud of the city too.
Yeah.
Helps you proud. I mean, I think
make the quality of life better for the people in the city.
Absolutely.
But
the visitors
and the experience. I was about to say the experience of the people coming to this town.
There's so many levels why that's a great idea.
Brutal, man. You think about lack of trees anywhere downtown.
Well, but what about the stuff like with the convention center doing all the green energy, like having the green room? I mean, there's stuff like that. There's certain steps. It's not quite as visible, of course. It's
like the things I get excited about are, what are we doing for transit?
Oh gosh,
what are we doing with public space? Right.
Yeah.
So that's stuff I care about.
And Nashville does pretty good. I
think Greer going to. All right, fine. All right, I think Greer going to hyper developed area like the Greer Stadium and all that area over there. I think if they develop that, they're really missing out on a gem in terms of public space, public park areas, green space.
Okay, so for anyone listening that might not be from Nashville and doesn't know what we're talking about, Greer Stadium is the old stadium of where the Nashville Sounds played forever.
Yeah.
For 40, 50 years, however long they've been around.
That's super close to our offices.
Yeah, and they recently got a brand new stadium across town, deservedly so. It's awesome. Yeah. It's so much fun to go to a game there. I'm glad they did it. It's cool, but so you're referring to the old stadium, which is still there. Yep. What are they doing?
There's stuff.
I heard something about with what's his name?
T-Bone Burnett.
Yeah, T-Bone Burnett.
What's he doing there?
So I saw him at a Metro Council meeting a couple of weeks ago.
Wait a minute, you go to Metro Council meetings?
Hell, we've just
the man is involved.
We just unlatched it.
Fucking fight the power with Go-Go Jones.
I was invited by the Nashville Soccer Club to.
Oh, you work for them? That's one of your. That's what you work for. Yeah,
I mean,
you've collaborated. That's a better way to put it.
That's a better way
You've done work for them. Yeah, you helped them out.
They're in the process of looking at potential stadium options. They've got some plans together, looking for sites and things. So, me being a big proponent of soccer and being a huge soccer fan, I'm on the MLS to Nashville committee, which is the committee that we're trying to bring an MLS team to
Right.
Nashville. So
That's awesome.
That's
Awesome. You're on a
badass.
committee. I've never been on a committee.
Force.
I got my own theme music.
True.
Me and you got Matt.
Hey,
we
man,
got our own theme music.
need to get mine.
I've never been on a committee though. I want to get on a committee.
It's
I need
fun.
my own theme
I
music.
think a committee. Okay, we'll figure it out.
talk
I want
about
to. I'm gonna figure out what committee I'm gonna be on first.
That's how I ended up at the Metro Council meeting, and that's
Gotcha.
how I found out about the
Yeah,
group
yeah,
thing.
that's
So-
awesome.
So just by happenstance in terms of coming and
Sure.
going.
So you
Sure.
think
Within the
that they
Metro.
should use that land is that would be a good spot for the MLS?
No.
I mean,
I
don't.
No, not a Greer Stadium, no.
No. Okay.
Um,
What do you think they should use that space for? It's a lot of. There's a lot. There's a big chunk of land right there.
there's a good chunk of land. I think they should most definitely
A lot of parking.
honor
I like Team
Negley,
Bone's idea.
Fort Negley.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
and-
you honor what?
Well,
yeah.
Fort Negley is
Oh, right
adjacent.
there. Yeah.
The
And-
Adventure Science Center and all
Yeah.
that stuff kind of backs up to it, too.
So I think they need to preserve that because that's a pivotal point in African American history in our city, and I think to let it go to the shitter is kind of a slap in the face.
Absolutely.
Not just to African Americans, but to the whole city. To
Yeah.
just be like, okay, it's cool. We'll just give it to developers.
Yeah, we'll leave that stupid fucking statue
Yeah.
over on
Yeah.
65.
Yeah.
Granted, that's on private land.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. But
Either way, I think Greer could be a really awesome park, man.
yeah, it could. Yeah, it
Incredible.
could.
Well,
Could you
I like the
imagine
idea. What
greenway
about...
systems? Like, dude,
Be
I'm
incredible.
an idealist, and to a fault. I think it's why I get so excited about civic
Those kinds of
design
things, sure.
and social justice issues. Like, I feel like we can do things, and I want to make.
Yep.
I want to
you
make
gotta have
things
that,
better.
Well, you got to
know?
have that mentality to make it happen.
Yeah.
But that's the point when people are telling you, you're a fool for thinking that way.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are actually getting shit done. The ones that are actually having people tell them that you're foolish for being on a committee to get a soccer team.
So what are they going to
that's
do?
awesome.
What are they going to do with that land? Has it been decided yet?
I don't remember all the details. Some of the things they were talking about was multi-purpose use, condos. They were talking about putting.
Oh, sure. Okay.
We're talking about condos. They were also talking about affordable housing as well,
Right.
kind of offset some of that stuff. But there were some other commercial projects. I was like,
I thought they were talking about.
They're going to put in a
art
Jamba
space.
Juice.
Like they were thinking about putting like an art space or a performing arts area, like an open use area. Like I thought they were more gearing it more towards like cultural arts and.
I hope so. I hope
That's
I'm
what
totally
That's what I
wrong.
heard. T-Bone Burnett's. That's what I thought his involvement was.
From what I heard, it sounded like it was a
You
more
were there,
commercial
so-
vibe
Oh, that sucks.
with the little things sprinkled in to kind of like appease some people. But I don't know. I just like.
I want to get an apartment in the what do they call the boxes? The box seats.
Box seat.
Oh,
They're gonna
the
turn
box
all the
seats.
box seats into
I got a
apartments.
box seat apartment.
I got a box seat apartment. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
great
a
chicken
little
wings.
much.
Why not? Yeah.
I get wound up, man.
Good for you.
It's just something I'm passionate about, I guess.
It's good to get wound up about things you get passionate about.
Yeah. Anyway, coming back to our social justice thing, Janie and I are starting a studio to support nonprofits, potential government projects that have like a very positive mission, and to continue to support the clients that I have existing. But the goal for us is really to push into areas where we can support people who are already doing good.
Yeah.
So just being kind of like a creative support arm for different nonprofits and potential government projects. So really just trying to kind of level out the design karma from all the liver and cancer things from the cigars and the beer into like
There you go.
all right, let's see if we can do a little more good in the community.
Sure, that's good. Give it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Well-
balance that
No,
karma.
Nobody's
out a
doing
little.
that in Nashville. Nobody's supporting that need.
Huh.
I think there's some
There's
agencies that have
some people trying.
there's a few, but that's not what they specialize in.
Yeah.
And I think the processes and approach that we can bring to the table versus some of these other big agencies is going to be different. You know?
So this is something that me and you might have in common. Like when you're mentioning like not feeling so dirty about being in advertising and marketing, and you can have an icky feeling sometimes. And you're like, God, I don't really like believe in this product. Like I always thought about when we were IO, it's like, oh man, if McDonald's came through the door, which they never would have, but it's like, last thing I want to do is fucking work for goddamn McDonald's.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to make that choice then when that
yeah. Me and Matt had this conversation about Moon Taxi, like the Nashville band Moon Taxi, and they got all day and all night on them fucking breakfast commercials, and I was like, man, good for those guys, but man.
I wonder what that conversation was like.
I know there was someone in that band being like, "No, we're not selling out."
But look at these
McDonald's.
commas, asshole.
Yeah, right. Look at these zeros.
Yeah,
you want to ride in a tour bus or a van?
That's it.
And I get it. And I get it. And it's a weird dilemma to be in. And it does feel good when you know that the work that you're doing, like, supports something that you believe in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems that those things don't pay as well as McDonald's does.
Yeah, right. Well, what I was gonna ask is like, so how do you have you seen those like commercials? Like, what was that? The recent beer? I think it was Heineken commercial, where they like put two people in the room. It was, and it was like they didn't know anything about each other, and it was like a puzzle they had to figure out. And like before
they were like opposites.
Yeah, they were like total opposites. Like they got video of like this one guy talking about like how he didn't understand transgender this, and he thought it was weird, blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. And then the other person was a transgender person, and doesn't find that out until the end after they've solved this problem. And the thing is they're putting this puzzle together and figuring this problem out. And at the end, it's like, oh, let's have a beer, and they bring the beers out, and then it culminates with them watching the video, saying, okay, are you still going to have a beer with this person? So that's a socially conscious like push.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, sit down and have a conversation with someone, but it's still a beer commercial. Yeah, and and I had this conversation with my buddy Joe, Joe, about this, and I was like, that shit just leaves like an icky feeling on me at the same point in time of being like, I get what they're doing.
They're still trying to sell beer.
They're still trying to make dollars. They don't care if those people share the beer.
I understand.
Another one was that Dove commercial where they like had the people come in and like describe themselves and had the sketch artist draw them, and then they had people that knew them come in and describe that person, and they compared the drawings, and it's like, oh, the way you see yourself is so different than, and I was just like, at the end of the day, they're still trying to sell Dove soap,
I know.
I like commercials that are funny, but you know what I mean? Like, I love the Old Spice commercials. Like, if you want to use humor to sell some deodorant, I'm cool with that, but like, don't tug at my heartstrings and then try and sell me a beer. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
But I mean, do you think that advertising? I mean, another good example of the backlash of that is that Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner.
Yeah,
that was
shit.
That was really bad.
Stupid.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Do you know? Did you hear what I was talking about, Matt?
No.
That like we were talking about the Kendall Jenner commercial.
Pepsi
Where
saw it.
I never saw it because they yanked it. Nobody.
Pepsi saw racism. Fantastic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I was like, who was the joker in the room that thought that was a good idea?
I wonder which creative director got their ass handed.
Yeah, and who was able to sell that idea?
Oh man, we get all these zeros in this budget.
That had to go through a lot of hands.
That had to go. That was
had to go through a lot of hands to get to where it got
surely someone would have been like, guys, we're really not. Like,
I'm not trying to be like Mr. Do-Gooder. Like,
right.
I just want to use my design for something better.
Do you think that, like, there is, you can be socially conscious with just design and marketing and message as a brand, a corporate brand, who obviously the goal is to make money, and still try and sell your product?
I think unless you come out of the gate with that mission,
like every
already aligned, like
20
Tom's,
look at
Tom's.
Yeah, okay.
They came out of the gate. And they said, here's what we're going to do. Warby Parker, same thing. Right? So
Who?
Warby Parker.
So, listen, Tom's is a shoe company.
Yep.
And what is their...
I can't remember exactly what it is. I think for every pair you buy, they send one to...
Okay, right.
Someone who needs them.
Needs a pair of shoes.
Yep.
Got it.
So
what's the other one you said?
Warby Parker does some sort of... I can't remember exactly what their program is.
But what kind of brand... What did they sell?
They sell eyeglasses.
Okay.
So... they've got a public good side of their mission too, right off the bat. So, like,
if you establish, I mean, you put your money where your mouth with is all right.
Yeah, I think.
But if you're Pepsi trying to solve the,
how genuine can you be when you're really just trying
we're
to sell
solving
more
racism and continuing childhood diabetes?
And I'm not saying
is that kind of like the same thing as the NFL being a nonprofit?
Yeah.
Fuck that. There is so much profit.
Yeah. That's like college players not getting paid.
Right.
Yeah, that's some bullshit too.
So you think that brands that come out the gate, because I'm the same way with like when I see those like feel good commercials and then they it's you see them at the Super Bowl and you see them you're still trying to sell soap.
Yep. I know.
Tide.
It's tough, man. I mean I realize that today's day and age you do what you got to do to sell,
right?
Make more money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the world needs it or that anybody gives a shit about it. Sure. So, I mean, you can keep throwing money at a problem, that people are getting tired of big brands. I think from a branding standpoint, as like a design professional, I also have to keep that in mind too. Like if you over-brand something to death, it becomes bigger than you can manage. It has a lot of demands. It's a different beast, man, when you've got to cultivate and grow this thing continually and feed the beast. It's like, I want to strip things down, man, and try to make the experiences good, support people who are good people. I just want to try to make sure my life is not as complicated as other people make theirs sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've made, myself. So I'm really trying to strip it down, simplify. My wife's done an awesome job. She's come in and we've worked through processes and things as we're starting this business. Like we're super close, man. We're jumping into the actual design phase for us, like the actual branding design portion of us next week. So we've been working through all the strategy stuff, thinking about what we're about. What are our goals? How do we see this business evolving? What's success to us? All these business things, like I'm actually going through and putting the time in, and everybody else is putting the time and effort in, and we're making this shit happen, man.
That's a good feeling.
It's so exciting.
That's so cool.
We're super close, but I feel like every time I get something done, there's always like 6, 7, 8
there
things.
Always will be.
I don't know, and
that means you're doing it right.
Yeah.
That means you're doing something that's worth doing. Like it's because it's worth doing.
Yeah.
There's no end goal. You know what I mean? It's just you're going to keep helping. You're going to keep creating. So you're always going to have 6, 7, 8 things. You should always have 6, 7, 8 things. That's why you got to get up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I
got a lot of shit to do tomorrow.
Good. Me too. Every man shit. I got shit to do before I get up tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I'm like, fuck. But as you know what?
You won those 5 o'clock rounders?
No, well, here's the thing: is I'm right.
Get up early.
I'm right now trying to debate whether or not I should do the run when I get home. But the thing is, then I get my. But then there's stuff I could be doing. But then I'm only going to get like 3 or so hours sleep. But then it's like tomorrow. But then tomorrow, it's like here's the shit thing. It's like I'm going into school. I'm teaching. I'm substituting at my daughter's music class. So I'm music.
Will she be in your music class?
Yeah, part of it.
Fantastic.
So I'm like music teacher for like 2.5 hours. No big deal. But then go straight from there to my day hustle.
What age?
She's 4. But it's
so
like
there's shit.
Oh, but dude, it's like. Oh no, it's incredible. Oh no, they're the best.
No
like,
horns.
These kids are.
They're just clapping things together and singing along.
Dude, no, are you kidding me?
No.
They're sitting there while I'm playing guitar and we're just singing
Dancing
along
and singing.
dancing. Oh, dude, it's the.
Ain't nobody
best.
ripping a saxophone solo.
It's the best. Nah, it ain't like full band.
That sounds
no.
badass, actually.
Dude, it's so cool. I'm singing
just
Mr.
entertain 'em?
Rogers. Dude, we talk about songs. Oh, we have.
You put a tip jar out?
I work the crowd.
Try and get that milk money, son.
We do Old MacDonald, and I let them pick the animals. I like always throw in a lion or a dinosaur in there.
This little shit named Scotty's always asking for wagon wheel and always
right.
smack the shit out
I'm
of
like,
him.
wagon wheel's 100, Johnny. You got to put 100 in the tip jar or wagon wheel.
He brings his lunch to school in a Yeti cooler.
Yes.
It's balling out so hard.
Yeah, right.
So,
Get a little
but then go from
Yeti milk cup.
Go from that to go work at the day hustle, And then I go from that to go play over at Neighbors with some buddies. Yep. And so it's like, I'm like, and I'm not complaining. It's by no means.
Who are you playing with the Neighbors tomorrow night?
Larry Long Pump and the Unknown.
Nice.
Yeah. So they basically, non-Don gig. There's this guy, Don Gallardo, great. He's an alumni from Can't Have Stuff. So is Joe. And he's one of the guys that fronts this. And it's just like we just play a bunch of like Southern rock and old country,
Molly Hatchet, and
Merle. We do like everything from
that's like the stuff my dad loves to play. He plays like old possum, like George Jones.
Dude, we're doing that, and we're also doing like everything from like Eagles to Cream to Leonard Skinner.
Come sit in on these.
You
gigs.
should.
How many guitar players you got?
Just two. It's just four of us typically. Just two.
There's four usually.
No, there's four of us. Like drums, bass, and two guitars.
I thought you were saying four guitar players.
They're really doing some Skinner.
No, that's another band I play in called Dutch Whiskey. There's shit you not. I've played with 5 on stage. Makes diarrhea
play
planet
blush.
Yeah, I'm like second chair.
Second chair in the slide.
For what?
Just slide.
Oh, slide.
Yeah, I cut my teeth on slide. With
did you?
Dwayne
Well,
Allman
blues.
stuff.
Yeah, I would think so. So you broke your leg and went up and then played on a bottle all summer long.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, that's.
But I love it. My thing is when you said the whole thing. My whole thing is I want to be able to be dropped into any situation and like not being told about like okay, it's doing this and it's like this. Like okay, go
it's like a pop quiz, except in something that you like.
Yeah, that I can get a pop quiz that I could actually do.
Excel at. You could always do a great job no matter.
So it's like you throw a song at me, like you said, I'm gonna know. I have a general idea of like, okay, I'm gonna hold back here. I'm gonna do, or okay, this guy's playing here. I'm not gonna play there. Yep. I'm gonna play fucking up here.
Yep.
So
that's exactly it.
But I don't know. I think, but it's cool because again, all day tomorrow though, when I think about it, is guitar. All day long. And how lucky am I? Like I literally get to wake up, get ready for school, we do the music class, I'm playing guitar there. Then I get to go to Tool Hippies where I'm literally like surrounded by some of the most beautiful acoustic instruments like in Nashville. And I'm like, you get to talk about them all damn day and play on them and play on the new Tonewood amp thing and then play show all these cool. And then I get to go from there to go play for 4 hours, with Larry Long Pump and go play some rock. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, this fucking, I'm already right now, I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm done.
Maybe me and Steve will come sit in at Long Pump
tomorrow. Y'all
should,
man. Neighbors in Sylvan Park, man. Come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What time do y'all start?
I think 9:30 or something like that.
That's my bedtime.
You just, the reason why I like to get up and the reason why I like to, it's like that quote that says, anybody that if anybody says, why do you get up that early? It's like, that's your key right there to know, shit, man, why aren't you getting up that early?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing and I'm all about the people that are like, well, I'm a night owl. Cool. But if you're a night owl that's night owl, if I'm a night, I know that if I say I'll get it done tonight.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, not when you got a 4-year-old.
Bullshit. If I say I'm going to get it done at 5 o'clock in the morning, or I'm going to get up at 4:30, or I'm going to get up at an obscene time to where I know I've got a fresh 2-3 hour block of being, and that way when the time comes, the nighttime comes, well, so you go to bed early, sure. But you know what? How many times have you just passed out at 11 o'clock watching a Netflix special? That's what you do then. That you get up, do your thing and everything like that. I was like, I'm going to watch my thing. And I fall asleep 5 minutes in. But you know what? Who fucking cares? I'm getting exactly what I want to get done. And that happened, I think, when you're working out or when you have, it's not working out. For me, I'm not a huge routine guy, but I know that working out makes me feel great.
Yep.
I know that the Wim Hof breathing stuff is doing crazy stuff to my body. I know that and it's I know that doing this every week, make sure that I'm on top of some of the, so I'm on top of
it's a little
meeting
routine's good.
Yeah, so it is, and it's I just
healthy.
It is, and I know that all the thing is it's that discipline. When I can get one of them going, then it starts helping the other one.
I just got back on the gym, man. So I lived 3 times this week already. So I'm
but your photos are better. You're designing
feeling good.
It's good feeling when you get that blood movement, you get the swell on, when you get your
clear in my brain.
Joe Wooten Victor of the Wooten Brothers, one of my favorite musicians of all time. Like he impacted me at that point in my crossroad of my life where I was like that influential live right there in my face musician, because his voice is just solid gold, hands of soul, voice of gold. Man, that guy is like killer. He played for Steve Miller Band, and when I heard that, I was like, Steve Miller Band's like one of my favorites. I'm like, Steve Miller's like, and I'm like, oh fuck, like that was one of like the blues things where I'm like, and he could do the whole thing. But one of the things I overheard him telling, like Sticks Finney, he was in a conversation because Marcus was talking about like working out again, and Joe Wooten was like, oh man, he just said it really quick in passing, healthy body, healthy mind. That moment, it wasn't my conversation to have. I was literally fly on the wall because I thought this was the coolest interaction, like one of the best up and coming drummers talking to Joe Wooten kind of thing. And he's like, healthy body, healthy mind. And I know that, like, I might not even get all of the practice on guitar that I love in, but I get things in and I'm exposed to it, I do it. But I know that, like, when my brain's fresh, I'm going to play better. Yep. I could be playing my ass off and not have a fresh brain or not, like, have it together. I play like shit. Yep. If you get your engine right, you're going to perform right,
Everything else follows.
I love it.
Are you a getter-upper in the morning?
Dude, I used to be, man. I was gung-ho for a good bit.
Yeah.
And just driving from Hermitage, it's like, well, I'm going to have to be up really early to beat the traffic, or I can go in late. And I do a lot of shit around the house in the morning. Yeah. So, I'll go to the gym.
Well, that's the beauty of
I'll cook breakfast.
Take your time.
Do the dishes.
Rush hour.
Oh, I still do that.
Go in late. Yeah, but when you're on your own time, you can go in, after traffic, and then you can work later at the office.
That's what I do.
And I'm not. I don't even have to go downtown till like 9:30, 10. Yeah. So I'm not.
But you get. I had a little bit of a on the way home today. I was kind of in that headspace. I was like, man, I'm not really. I kind of wasted. I didn't really waste the day, but I was just like, I didn't get as much done today, and I didn't get as much done yesterday as I should have been getting done. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in that little bit of a rut. It's slowly cracking off.
It's hard when it's you dictating all that stuff too.
Yeah, no
and
shit.
One thing I've noticed most recently is Janie's on her, I guess, this would be the second or third week that she's been on.
Yeah,
we've been working together full time, and it's been wild, but I feel like between like us working together towards something, it's been a lot easier to stay motivated for me, which has been great. She's super organized.
And you have
organized.
A true partner.
Yeah,
and what's going on.
We're working towards something together. Which that's a
because,
drive I've never had working on my own.
Because if that is successful, then that only just helps make your marriage more successful.
Yeah. Well, that's where
you know what I mean. Like you're. I mean that seems like it would be a beautiful thing.
We're still learning about each other.
You're still newlyweds.
Yeah, and the husband-wife working game, we're definitely newlyweds.
You're two. Oh, man, we're 2 years, 3 years, 2.
It'll be 3 this time around.
Yeah.
So you're not newlyweds anymore. 2 years.
2 years.
2 years is over with.
We're about to hit 3, which is cool. We just talked about it the other night.
That's fun.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
3.
Kelly and I are about to hit 7.
Damn.
7 years married?
Yep. And then 5 years dating. So 12 years together.
Damn. So that means we're
like living 12 years living
into
together.
this committed relationship, Janie and I.
Yeah, man.
10. Yeah, when you hit they say or every 5 or something like you hit new benchmarks.
I met my wife our freshman year of high school.
Oh shit.
We met our freshman year of high school.
That's wild.
Yeah. But I mean, we haven't been dating that long.
Yeah.
We didn't date in high school. We were friends, but I mean, I had a huge crush on. So we came from different feeder schools to Franklin High School. She went to the Franklin City schools,
local,
and
right?
I went to Grassland, and we both. And so, one of the big new girls, like all right, you know what I'm saying? Like I love all my, I loved all my Grassland girls, but I was like, I'm kind of sick of all y'all. I want to meet some new girls, And she was a Franklin girl, and I remember, and I had a huge crush on her freshman year, and but we just kind of were always like friends and ran to different crowds and flirted with each other, and we never. And then out of college, we just kept going like this, out of high school.
I know a lot of people that have kind of
I've known her
come through and intersected
over
paths.
20 years now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Makes you feel like an old ass man.
Fun.
Yeah,
he is an old ass man.
But it's an interesting dynamic, I think, as opposed to like you guys, where y'all don't have the same experience growing up. Like your childhood experience, your high school experience is different than your spouse's. To where mine, like we know all the same people. You know what I mean? We have so much in common.
Sure.
Like
we learn new things all the time about each other, growing up, families,
like
neighborhoods.
We don't ever share
stuff.
stories about high school because like we're both there. You know what I mean?
You're in
like,
all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting dynamic to have that much history with someone. Well, even before we started dating.
Yeah.
You know,
I got kicked out of
how did you meet Jane?
Schools.
Huh?
I said I got kicked out of 2 schools.
You got kicked out of school. You got kicked out of school
I got kicked out of 2 Catholic schools.
for doing. Were you diddling some nun in the? Like what was going on? How did you get kicked out of Catholic school?
Skipping class, smoking in the bathroom.
What else are you supposed to do?
Fighting.
Really? Are you a fighter?
Yeah, I was all of those things,
Really?
man. Yeah.
I don't picture you as being a scrapper.
All right. Well, then this is
I mean, that kind of already answered one of our questions. So,
Karate Kid.
Yeah, right.
You just answered it. So you've been punched in the face.
Yeah. Well, our question is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or The Karate Kid. Which would you pick?
Ooh. Man, fuck. I love history, but I would rather be able to whoop somebody's ass than rattle off some
You're the
quote
best.
about Abraham Lincoln. I'm a
So
fan
you're going
of
with
Abe
Karate Kid. And then the follow-up question is, have you ever been punched in the face? But it sounds like you have.
You probably have been.
Yeah.
Unless you just are you like fucking Mayweather.
Yeah,
Like,
there it is
he
again.
ain't punching me in the face.
No,
I'm 50-0, motherfuckers.
I always punch first so I don't get punched a whole lot. But I did get clocked one time when I was, I don't know. My neighbor hit me so hard. It was the only time I ever just got like a busted ass, bloody nose.
Where you're from Kentucky? Where in Kentucky?
Owensboro. It's western Kentucky. It's about 2 hours northwest.
Bowling, it's like Bowling Green.
Yeah, but
it's an hour.
Close by Bowling Green.
It's an hour away from Bowling Green.
Oh, it's that far?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that far.
Yeah, it's an hour.
Huh.
And I mean, how rural is that? I mean, is it
Dude, there was 60, 70,000 people.
Okay,
It's like
it's pretty
one
good-sized
long
town.
road that has a shitload of restaurants on it. That's about it.
That's Owensboro.
That's Owensboro. That's it.
So what were you getting in fight? Like that blows my mind. I would never have thought like you've got the nicest disposition.
I'm a
like I
pretty
can't
peaceful guy
imagine.
now. Yeah.
Like what was your what would get you? Just like it? Because
Everything,
there were
or-
some guys that I went to high school with just love fighting.
Well-
and then they were just like into it.
I don't think that was really my jam at first, but maybe I eased into it. I don't know. It was always in defense of a lady. It's either my sister
chivalry.
or some girlfriend or
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
It's defending somebody's honor.
yeah, a lot of that, and then boys being boys, and yeah, I got into a few scraps in Owensboro and in the Navy, but that's,
Naval scraps.
Navy fights, then they put you in the ring,
oh, dude.
right? They go, we're gonna settle this in the ring,
And then they're all gonna place bets, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be
right?
like, nah,
Nah.
that would be easier. No, man, just
I've never been punched in the face or
Nope.
punched someone in the face. No, that's not true. But I haven't been punched in the face. I wasn't a fighter.
I had my ass kicked one time, pretty bad. And
Really?
Then,
After they were like, I don't want to do this no more.
and I was like, I'm gonna throw the first punch every time from here on out. It's like if I think this guy's gonna hit me, I'm gonna hit him first.
At least get that first one in.
Yeah. And chivalry is not always dead, and I'm not advocating violence by any means.
Right. Sometimes
So-
you just gotta.
sometimes
punch
You
you
got
gotta
the
knock-
first punch sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta knock an engineer's
So-
front teeth out in your backyard after deployment
Oh,
because he's
man.
trying to hit on your lady.
Oh wow!
Wow, yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
pizza, hot dog, or hamburger?
Oh fuck, man, hot dog.
Whoa!
Where's your favorite
Whoa,
place in
where's
town
your fav-
to get a
yeah.
hot dog.
Hot diggity dog.
Yes,
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
It is.
I always get the Chicago and the Nashville.
Yeah, dude.
On the grill, everything.
Let's go. I'm like plant-based now, and I'll go. Like, let's. If it was open
I
right
love
now
that place.
after this,
I
I
would
straight
totally
up would
go.
go say hi to Layla and
I
go
would.
in and go see.
They're
Skits
awesome, man. I love them so much.
I like their
She's so
their
did
bratwurst
did
is
she
good.
sell the building?
No.
No, she didn't. She's
She's
so
held-
good.
she's
I haven't
held
been
on
there
to
in
it.
so fucking long, man. Oh,
Last time I talked to her, she's like, "Oh yeah, I would never
I
operate a
gotta
business. I didn't have my own building."
I
was like,
know they do. Like, I
"You're
know they
smart,
got.
lady."
I know they got a plant-based one, but I'm like, no,
Man,
no.
same.
I want a hot dog.
Dude, that hot chicken, or not hot chicken, but like the spicy chicken chorizo one.
Oh, I haven't had it. See, I haven't been there in a while.
What?
Dude, it's legit.
Oh no.
Spicy chicken
I think I'm gonna have to go to Hot Diggity
It is
Dogs
so
and
good,
break
man.
down and go. You know what? I got a little bit of a cheat
good.
time before we start doing marathons.
You'll have some time tomorrow between.
Yeah, I'm going straight up between preschool and preschool
hustle.
and day
Get
hustle.
you some hot dogs
make
on
it
the
work,
way
man.
into-
Oh, I'll see you there. All right, so great answer.
You know, I will say though, another really good hot dog in town is at the farmers market. The beer garden restaurant
really?
in the food, that's the only food they serve is hot dogs and a few like chips and something. But I mean, like their meals are hot dogs, and they got one. They're Tennessee. I don't know what the Hot Diggity Dogs Tennessee is. The one
coleslaw,
Yeah,
and
coleslaw, man.
pickles, and
Coleslaw and
like
pickles.
there's a pepper. Aren't those the There's
one,
kind of pepper on it
the
too.
Tennessee at this place is house made pimento cheese and house made coleslaw.
Those two things are in my. They're in my wheelhouse, man.
DNA.
Like, if you ask my wife, you say, "What are these weird things that he likes?" She'd be like, "He likes IPAs. He likes coleslaw. He likes pimento cheese.
Jeez, yeah.
He likes hot dogs." It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Go check, and they use Porter Road. They use Porter Road
that
hot
checks
dogs.
off all the.
They
They
got
use
some
Porter
hot
Road hot
dogs.
dogs.
Dude,
at
do you
this
guys
place.
smoke
Some
meats
hot
at all?
Yes.
I
Smoke
don't.
meats?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Remember, I'm
That shit changed my life smoking meats, man.
See, I do it. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
pretty
like
fantastic.
I'm so much manlier now.
DL,
that I smoke meat.
guys smoke those meats?
Shh.
Y'all
Man, prank caller.
He's smoking
Prank
them
caller. I don't know
thighs.
who's this.
Dude, when we bought our house in Hermitage, it was about a year, I don't know, 15 months ago, something like that. I said, man, the one thing I want to do is I just want to get a nice smoker and I want to smoke some meats. And we went on a little.
He whispered again.
You
know, it's
Dude, it's like it's
taking the breath away.
it's taking my breath away.
I just want to go out there and I really want to smoke.
Oh God! Give me some damn mesquite or some hickory wood.
Listen. Listen.
So
Tell anybody.
I got a knockoff green egg from.
Yeah.
I got a Vision Grill from Home Depot.
Is that what the knockoff?
Yeah, it's still
they're
expensive as.
How much was it?
Expensive. Google it.
It was like the price of 3 grills.
Okay.
That's fucking expensive.
Yeah. But it was the one thing I was like, man, I was working my ass off. I didn't do shit but work all the time. I was like, I want to treat myself.
Right.
So I got this grill, man, and I have smoked so much meat on this thing. I had my parents over I had the whole family over for Thanksgiving this past year, and I smoked a whole bird. I've been smoking whole chickens. I've been
I did
doing
the chickens
Boston
a couple
butts.
times. Yeah, busting. I've done that. It's
I,
fun.
so
Stay up all night.
dude, or you can, I like to brine chickens or like poultry. I'll
Yeah, I do
brine it
that.
first, and then I'll do. I think my favorite wood. It's probably like for beef. I like to do hickory, which is really nice. And then I'll do I'll do my own dry rub, nice and spicy, which is really good. So between the spicy and the hickory, it's just good.
I haven't done too much beef.
Yeah?
Smoking beef. I've done a lot of pork, done a lot of chicken, done a lot of what else?
Dude, just get like a
some
shitty-
fish. We've done a lot of fish, which is
Get a shitty piece of beef and cook it for 6 hours. 8
Yeah.
hours.
Well,
It-
see, I'd
it'll
rather
break all those fats down.
Here's the
Oh.
reason. Here's the reason. Well, shitty cut maybe, but here's the thing.
Yeah, shitty cut.
When because when we do it, like that's the we've talked about it a whole bunch. Like I'm a holidayitarian, so it's like the kill the goat diet. So
Yep.
if you come over,
Yep.
I'm gonna kill the goat.
Yep.
Like if the family comes over,
That's
if it's
fantastic.
time, it's like, but I'm not gonna eat meat and all the other days because I'm gonna leave the goat for
Yeah.
those special
Yeah,
days.
I think that's awesome.
So when the day happens, I'm gonna go get those Porter Road hot dogs. I'm going to go get those Porter Road
You gonna
shitty
throw
meat.
down?
And just, yeah, and that's what we do when they come to town. And you go get the chicken from them, the whole chicken, or you go get like a big, and you go smoke it.
This has been like the custom for millennia.
And then you eat it for an hour. Takes you damn 20 hours to prepare and go drive to get it, do that and everything like that. Everything you eat in an hour.
Dude, I love it.
It's the best.
That's fantastic.
It's great.
It's smoking the meats.
So what is okay? So if you had a movie,
Yeah, there you go.
and you like that? You like that? Remember that?
You got it.
If you had a movie, and you had to pick
Movie of your life,
but you had to pick someone to play your mother, who would it be?
Oh shit, man! Play my mom.
And you can use like
I'm going to use not the guy, but I'm going to use the girl from this. That
No,
kind of
you
thing.
could, but you could also say like this character, like that they might have
That's tough.
played.
These are the crazy branding questions I send my clients to figure out
There you go. Wow,
what
that's-
they're about.
We want
It's
everyone to
always
know
some-
exactly what Go-Go Jones is about.
Yeah.
Man, my mom's so sweet. It's like I don't watch a ton of movies, but
Like, or who's gonna
Who's
look, feel? Who's gonna who's
but my
your,
mom's like my mom and my grandma are both really short, so they're.
Sally Fields, then?
No, I was thinking I kept thinking about the little lady from The Incredibles that was super small and like gung ho and powerful.
Oh, I'll accept that.
the cartoon
the
character.
cartoon character? Cool.
Because like she's
I'll
just-
accept that.
She's small, right? Like
Yeah.
So my mom's short. My grandma was like 4'10" or 4'11".
But still badass.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom's 5'1", so
That is short.
Yeah. Cool. I'll accept that answer.
A cartoon character.
I'm sorry. I mean
That's cool. That's a good answer. That's a great answer.
I can't think of anybody
I love
else.
that. That's fantastic.
That is
So,
pretty interesting.
so so your last day in Nashville, Tennessee, it's going to be for a long time, at least, for that.
Yep.
You're going to go hang out. Or Nolensville.
Ooh, I like this question
Yeah.
already.
Tell us about your day, your
What my
last
day
day in
would be like?
Nashville. And it's a perfect
The
day.
U-Haul's packed up.
See anybody you want.
You can do.
You don't have
You can
any-
go
all
see
you gotta
whoever
do
you
is
want at
just
any
your-
venue.
This
You
is
can
a
eat wherever.
fantastic question.
Your
Here you
last
go.
day
I'm
to just
excited
blow it
to-
out.
Let everybody
Nashville.
know. Let everybody know. Take us home. Let everybody know. Where
I
we're
would get
going.
up early. I would get up 5 or 6 o'clock, and I would do a bike ride from Hermitage to the Donaldson Greenway.
Ooh.
I would ride around town and go down Metro Center's Greenway around Great Circle and all those areas. I'd come back around the city. So I'd do a good long bike ride on the Greenway system first.
I'll see you there.
I would come back and get showered up. I would grab my wife, and we would go to King's Market in Antioch to get a bowl of pho, which is like my favorite thing.
Market, man.
Yeah, dude, we're
okay.
going there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your.
Yeah.
Continue. We'll
Yeah.
talk about this off.
All right.
Yeah,
So
but yes.
I would go get Vietnamese, Lao, Thai,
The huge
international
market. Is it that they?
It's not huge.
It's
Okay.
it's right. It's
That's what I'm
like if
thinking
you
of.
got off at Edmonton Pike.
Yeah.
And you
It's-
come down
that's
and,
what
you,
I'm
and you
thinking
go,
of.
like there's the food
Haywood-
line.
Yeah.
Haywood Lane?
Haywood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
off
yeah.
Haywood
It's
Lane.
right
Oh,
over
I
there.
know it's Okay,
So-
cool.
Or not Edmonton.
Proceed.
Haywood Lane.
So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
go there.
badass.
It's a market, and then in the back
I didn't
there's
know
the
they.
restaurant.
I didn't
right?
know they had a restaurant. In the
Oh,
back.
dude, it's
Damn.
legit.
Cool.
It's legit.
Please.
So I would go do that for lunch. Trying to think hike wise if I'd squeeze anything. I mean,
you already did like a 70 fucking
Doesn't
mile
matter.
bike ride.
Doesn't matter. You can be sore tomorrow.
have a
We're
beer
talking
somewhere.
about-
it's the last day. It's like,
Go
all
for
right,
it, man.
what else
Hike.
would I
Where are you
do,
hiking?
man?
Where are you hiking?
Oh shit. Usually when I go hiking, I get outside the city, so it might be a little tough. Honestly,
Helicopter took you there. Where are you going?
Oof. Man, my buddy and I, the guy I ride a lot with, we go out to. It's out 40 East. I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and it's not Fiery
So
Gizzard.
past Natchez.
No, it's the other way. It's
Oh, east.
like west.
East.
Yeah,
Okay,
east.
gotcha. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
That's right.
I'd probably do a little hiking, but usually the things that get me excited are food. So we'll just segue
Sure.
back.
Go back to some food.
I think after that, I would probably go to the taco truck on the corner of Polk and Nolensville Road.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
Polk in Nolensville. Wait a
that's-
minute.
That's one of my jams.
You're
Which
pulling
one
out-
is that one? That's not.
You know what he's doing right now? He's pulling out the deep cuts.
I love it. I've been to that
He's
one.
crate digging right now.
We lived on Wheeler in Nolensville.
You got to know Nashville to know about that.
No, that's
that market.
Yeah. You got to live in that area.
Yeah.
You got to live in Woodbine.
Well, my office is super close, so it's become my taco truck of choice. And I used to live in Woodbine when I was in school, so that's my jam.
Nice.
I guess that would be. What would that be, like afternoon? Lunch?
Sure. Second
lunch.
breakfast.
Second lunch.
Oh man. I'm trying to think what I'd do music wise.
Nighttime. Where you gonna blow it out? And where are you calling the Uber to get you home from?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like now that I'm older, I spend more time drinking at home, not going out, so I don't have to deal with driving or any of that bullshit. But music wise, I used to love Roberts, man. I still think the music quality is great. It's downtown scene's a little different now than it used to be. So
Roberts is by far the best honky tonk.
Absolutely, it is.
Sure is.
I like that place. I like going to Station Inn.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I saw Dale Watson there. You know who Dale Watson is? He's like this Texas troubadour. He's legit Texas cowboy kind of old school singer. But I saw him there last year, and it was just like,
that's a good.
I love that space, man. That venue's super good.
Monday night they do the Carl Jackson and Friends thing every Monday. It's one of the most.
They got so many good players that come through there too, man.
I had
Guthrie Trap goes through there a lot.
I had the privilege of seeing.
What is it? 16. What is it? 12 South. Or no, what's the name of the band?
That
he plays with.
What was that?
He is a sick guitar player.
He's
ridiculous. He is
16th Avenue South.
so good.
I can't remember.
Shoot, what's the name of that band with the?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just shitty with the names.
Me too. Anyways, it's phenomenal.
He's legit, man. I guess if I had to pick a last food thing.
Yeah.
Late night diner.
Yeah, late
night whatever. Late night eats. What are you going?
Hey, Uber driver, do you mind stopping by this place first?
I mean, Hermitage Cafe's always helps.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten there.
It's
actually.
like it's last resort.
It's like you're not missing out.
I mean, it's diner food.
But it's like you're missing out.
I mean,
I think if I had to pick a nice place to eat, I like Otaku.
Yeah,
ramen.
Boots was taking us there. Yeah, you like your Asian influence.
I do. I like noodle soups, man. My noodle soups are where it's at.
Noodle soups is where it's at.
Dude, that's where my heart is.
Well, your heart's there. It's in a lot of other places too, like design work. It's also in serving your country. It's also in fighting. It's also in riding bikes. It's also in blues music. Yeah, shit,
smoking
man.
meats.
Yeah,
getting up early, smoking meats.
Dude,
treating
robots.
yourself and drawing robots.
Damn.
Go Jones, man, you're going places. You've been places, and that's pretty awesome.
I'm trying.
So,
I appreciate you guys having me on,
dude. Thanks for coming down. Yeah,
fantastic catching up.
We'll let you know we're ready to design some better logos than the two fucking ugly mugs we got going on there. So, but other than that, man, I guess until next time, everybody, we'll see you next week with.
Hopefully, we'll have the live streaming thing.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have the reprimand down, so we'll be taken care of. But we're looking forward to having Andy Ellis from Premier Guitar Magazine on next week. And until then, I guess we'll be seeing everybody. Be good to each other. Kisses. And go. And Steve. Thanks, everybody. We'll be seeing you. And come on, YouTube. Really? Are you kidding me? It's a robot. Had to be a robot.